Chapter 51. Sorry. This mission is that they stole the mission order and ran here privately. Now I am in charge of this mission. So that's the case. Then please ask the two mages. The village chief said to Jinryusai and Gray very politely. Glancing at Natsu and Lucy from the corner of the eye, he also shook his head and sighed slightly. They turned out to be two newcomer wizards who are good at asserting themselves. Fortunately, Fairy Tale was in charge and sent two powerful wizards. From the gravity that just covered the village, it can be seen that these two people are powerful. Hearing that his S-level mission was about to fail, Natsu immediately said, "Wait a minute, Jinryusai. I'm the one to take this mission." Breaking the way number 4 by Lei Jinryusai didn't even look at Natsu. A bolt of lightning shot out from his fingertip. Natsu flew upside down screaming, lightning flashing all over his body. Boom! A hole was smashed into the fence. Wow! Everyone was shocked. Happy hurriedly flew to Jinryusai and cried, "Jinryusai, it's none of my business. Natsu and Lucy ordered me to do it." "You mean Cat?" Lucy said indignantly. "You three dare to accept S-level missions privately, and even dare to violate the rules of the guild. Do you want to be expelled from the guild?" Jinryusai looked at Natsu, Lucy, and Happy with angry eyes. Hearing that they would be expelled from the guild, the faces of both of them changed. "Sorry, we were wrong. We don't dare anymore. Jinryusai, just forgive us this time." The 2 and 1 cat apologized quickly, with an extremely sincere attitude. "I hope this is the last time this happens. As for whether you can continue to stay in the guild, it depends on what the old man wants." After warning them viciously, Jinryusai left them alone. Instead, asked the village chief for detailed information on this mission. The next day, Jinryusai took Natsu, Gray, Lucy, and Happy to investigate the forest. According to the information provided by the village chief, they will be cursed into demons, which may be related to the temple in the forest. "Hey, take a look. Is that the temple that the village chief said?" Passing through the jungle, a building connected to the mountain appeared in front of several people. With Jinryusai present, several people were not afraid at all and walked in swaggeringly. Inside was a very spacious hall. "It's quite big here. It's dilapidated. I don't know when the building was built." "Hey, will there be demons?" "Happy, don't say such scary things. By the way, this place is so dilapidated. Is the floor okay?" As Natsu said, he kicked hard on the floor twice. "Stupid. Don't push so hard." Boom! The floor suddenly shattered and a big hole appeared. Several people fell down. Only Jinryusai stood calmly in the void. This idiot. Jinryusai covered his face with his hands. He sort of understood why Natsu was so poor. With such a reckless character, I'm afraid he would have to break a few dishes even if he was serving them. Bang bang. It fell all the way to the bottom of the pit, and the smoke and dust were everywhere. But all three of them are rough-skinned and thick-skinned guys. Even Lucy is fine, just a little embarrassed. Haha, the bottom here is actually empty. Natsu patted the dust off his body casually and smiled triumphantly. "What's there to be proud of? I was almost killed by you. You idiot. Give me a good brain before doing something." Gray and Lucy cursed. "Hey, fortunately, both Jinryusai and I can fly." "You idiot, Natsu. It's still useful. Look at that." Jinryusai floated down, pointed to the front, and said, "Follow the direction of Jinryusai's finger." "Then what is that? A huge monster is frozen." Natsu and Lucy opened their mouths in shock. After seeing the monster, Gray immediately became panicked and shouted the name of the monster as if in disbelief. "Dai Lionla? How is it possible? How did Dai Lionla appear here? No, it's impossible. It can't be in this kind of place." Jinryusai said lightly. "Calm down, Gray. It's just a monster sealed in ice." Gray's expression calmed down slightly upon hearing Jinryusai's words, but the body still trembled obviously, showing that the heart was not peaceful at all. "Gray, you know this monster. Dai Lionla, demon of disaster." Jinryusai moved his ears and said, "Wait a minute, there are footsteps. Hide first." Natsu, Happy, and Lucy immediately hid behind the stone obediently. Gray stared blankly at the frozen lion, motionless. Seeing this, Jinryusai had to pull him behind a stone and hide. The task this time was to lift the curse, and Jinryusai didn't act rashly even though he still didn't know what the curse was. After so many years of missions, Jinryusai knows that some missions cannot be completed simply by being reckless. Soon, two men walked in here. That's the sound coming from here just now. Ooh. The floor above here has fallen. Is it an intruder? Oh, it looks like they should have escaped. Before Master Zero finds out, find these intruders and deal with them. After a while, the two left, and Jinryusai and the others also reappeared. They smell different from this island. They are foreigners. Seeing Jinryusai looking thoughtfully at the frozen die lion, Lucy said, Jinryusai, are you going to destroy this? The curse in the village may also be affected by this monster. As long as you destroy this, the curse may disappear. Gray immediately stopped and said, No, wait a minute. I want to know who is that Zero Emperor? Why did you bring the demon that the master sacrificed his life to seal here? Master? Seal? That's right. Dalai Lama is my master Ulu, who sealed him with absolute freeze at the cost of his life. Gray began to talk about his childhood experiences. His home was destroyed by lion, his parents were killed by lion, and then he was rescued by his master Ulu, and he learned magic from his master. After learning magic, he heard the news of Dalai Lama and challenged recklessly, but ended up killing his master instead. When he said this, the expression on Gray's face was pained. I hope to hand over that guy named Zero Emperor to me. No matter who the enemy is, I will never allow him to discredit my master. Gray said solemnly. Okay, I'll leave it to you. Jinryusai said bluntly. Natsu, Lucy and Gray were all taken aback. They didn't expect Jinryusai to agree so simply. Don't look at me like that. This is what you have to do as an apprentice, and it's only right for you to entrust it to you. And I'm here, they can do whatever they want. The three of them looked at each other and smiled when they heard Jinryusai's words. Hey, as expected of Jinryusai. Yes, the monster Jinryusai is more terrifying than Die Lion. Thinking of the flames of the natural disaster that could burn everything, they felt an incomparable sense of security. Chapter 52. Lord Zero Emperor. I'm really sorry. There was an intruder in the ruins, but they haven't been found yet. A man with thick eyebrows said to a man wearing a horn mask. The two stood in a place similar to an altar. If viewed three-dimensionally, the altar was just above the frozen die lion. There are also a group of people wearing gray cannons standing around silently behind the man known as Zero Emperor. Intruder? How is the unblocking of Dalai Lama? Zero Emperor asked. Gray, who was hiding in the corner, changed his face when he heard it. This voice. Under the detection of Jinryusai's Ryatsu, several people followed Jinryusai and had already touched Zero Emperor. According to this speed, the ice may be melted tonight. Zero Emperor said. That's good. We must not let people destroy our plan. Yes. Stop this boring behavior of yours for me. Leon. Gray jumped out with a roar. Then both hands immediately used the ice modeling magic, and one after another ice cones rose from the ground and attacked Zero Emperor. Zero Emperor and others were surprised. They didn't expect the intruder to appear here. But seeing Gray's attack, Zero T didn't panic. Instead, with a wave of one hand, an ice magic that is almost the same as Gray appeared. With a bang, they collided together. After blocking Gray's attack, Zero Emperor turned around and said indifferently, Long time no see, Gray. That guy uses the same magic as Gray? Lucy exclaimed. Yuka, a man with thick eyebrows, said, Are they the intruders? It seems that people from that village asked the Magisters Guild for help. Lucy asked, Gray, do you know that guy named Zero? He's my brother. Leon. Brother? Natsu asked in confusion. Why did your senior brother revive the demon that your master sealed with his life? Gray said with an ugly face. This is the question I want to ask too. Leon, what do you want to do? Leon ignored Gray's question, but said to his subordinates, How dare you ask a mage to hinder us and teach that village a lesson? Yes, that can't be done. They are the entrusters of this mission. If they are hurt by you, how can I hand in the mission? Jinryusai Shuanpa appeared in front of the group of people, stretched out a finger, and said coldly, 31 of breaking the way. Red cannon, a group of crimson flames appeared, and the blazing high temperature caused the temperature of the altar to rise sharply. Boom! The fireball shot out, and the mages wearing gray robes along the way all howled in the flames and were burned to coke. Wow, help me. Water magic. It's useless. It can't put out the fire at all. Leon looked at Jinryusai and said, "Who are you?" At this time, beside Leon, a short man dressed like an Indian said, "He is a fairy tale S-level mage, Jinryusai known as the Fire Calamity." Fire Calamity. When Yuka on the side heard this name, his face changed drastically. Toby, who looks a bit like a dog, said, "Oh, I heard it too. It is said that he is a man who will bring disasters. Wherever he passes, there are thousands of miles of red land, extinction of life, and no grass." Sharia has heard of it, but never seen it. The three of them are facing a great enemy. The name of the person and the shadow of the tree will be named as disasters, and they will be called flame disasters. I am afraid that they are not ordinary wizards. Sarudalai, do you know him? Leon's face became serious when he heard his partner's words. Of course, Master Zero may never care about anything other than Dai Lion. Jinryusai has wiped out many dark guilds. Even in the Magic Council, they are all famous existences. Altair's heart, whose alias is Saradiri, explained in a stern voice. Master Zero Emperor, maybe our plan to revive Dai Lion is going to fail. Altair decided to provoke Leon. Leon stared and said, "Impossible. I don't care what kind of fire disaster he is. No one can stop my plan. Icake. Grizzly." With a wave of Leon's hand, several ice eagles flew towards Jinryusai and others. Ice Make. Ice Shield. Boom, boom, boom. Gray blocked Leon's magic with an ice shield. "Leon, your opponent is me," Leon ordered. "Kill them." Crack. Natsu touched his fists wrapped in flames and said, "Jinryusai, you have already dealt with so many people. Leave these guys to me." Saying that, Natsu rushed towards Yuka and Toby. "Damn it, don't underestimate us." Yuka's expression changed. Boom. Natsu punched the ground, and the ground suddenly shattered. A big hole appeared, and Natsu and the other two fell down together. Natsu, Lucy, and Happy were startled and ran over to check. But just after running for a few steps, the shattered land suddenly began to recover as if going back in time, and in the blink of an eye, it returned to the state before it was destroyed by Natsu just now. Lucy and Happy said in surprise, "Recovered? How is it possible?" Altair said with a strange smile, "Oh hee, I'm showing my ugliness. The lost magic, the arc of time. I don't know if it can catch the eyes of Lord Jinryusai." Lost magic, that's not the same as Natsu's magic. My magic can restore the time before the object was destroyed. Even if the object is smashed, it can be restored. The magic of controlling time sounds amazing. Suddenly, Jinryusai looked at Altair seriously and said, "Do you want to join our guild?" The air was quiet for a while. Both Lucy, Happy, and Altair were stunned. "Oh Master Jinryusai was joking." Jinryusai waved his hand and explained, No, I'm serious. The idiots in our guild will always cause damage. Of course, occasionally I will cause a lot of trouble, and I will lose a lot of money every time. You can save a lot of money by joining our guild. How about it? Do you want to join Fairy Tale? I won't let you do it in vain, and I will pay you for every restoration. I am very sincere." Lucy and Happy were dumbfounded. They didn't expect that Jinryusai was still thinking about this at this time, and it was really reasonable to think about it. Altair was speechless, and at the same time sullen. She has worked so hard and endured pain and torture to learn the lost magic. Is it to clean up the mess? Oh Master Jinryusai seems to look down on my lost magic. Jinryusai spread his hands and said, "Why? That's magic about time. I just think you can better use this magic to its fullest value. How valuable this magic is, it's up to you to experience it yourself." Crack. The ground under Jinryusai and Altair's feet suddenly seemed to be neatly cut into a circle, and Altair and Jinryusai fell down together. Chapter 53. The Arc of Time. Call out. A crystal ball shot towards Jinryusai, and there was a crackling sound. Breaking the Way Number 4 by Lei Boom. The crystal ball was shattered by lightning, but recovered immediately. 1 is not enough, so what about 10? Altair waved his hand, and 10 crystal balls appeared beside him, flying towards Jinryusai from all directions. Whether Jinryusai punched or kicked or dodged under the attack of 10 crystal balls, He seemed to be able to do a job with ease. 10 won't work, then 100. What a disappointment. I thought it was some great magic, and it turned out to be a bunch of crystal balls flying around. Time magic. There should be time to speed up, time to stand still, time to go back. Altair blushed with anger. It's up to you if you can do it. Go. With a wave of Altair's hand, hundreds of crystal balls shot out towards Jinryusai. Schwa. Jinryusai's figure suddenly disappeared before Altair's eyes. So fast. Where? Altair glanced around vigilantly. Several crystal balls floated in front of her. At this, a large hand rested on Altair's shoulder, and a cold voice sounded behind her. In an instant, Altair was shaken all over, and his back was soaked in cold sweat. Chirp. Several crystal balls floating in front of Altair flew towards her back. There. Altair didn't dare to look back at all, only felt a rush of heat behind her, and the horrible high temperature burned her skin. Then an electric current spread through her body, making her numb and trembling, screaming again and again. The camouflage magic could not be maintained, and it returned to its original form. No wonder I can always smell a fragrance. It turned out to be a beautiful woman in disguise. What do you think I should do with you? Jinryusai raised Altair's chin with his fingers and said with a playful face. That, Master Jinryusai, I think the proposal just now can still be considered. Altair swallowed in horror and said with a dry smile. Oh, yeah. Looking at the sexy figure, especially the upturned buttocks, Jinryusai smiled maliciously. Gudong, you. What do you want to do? At this time, the two brothers Gray and Leon were fighting fiercely. Ice make birds. Ice make lancers. Bang, bang, bang. Crackling. Leon and Gray used long-range attacks, and the ice created by both sides collided in the middle and all shattered to offset it. Ice make. Big ice hammer. Gray used the ice modeling magic with both hands, and the cold air quickly condensed on Leon's head, and a huge ice hammer fell from the sky in the blink of an eye. Ice make. Great ape. Leon waved one hand, and a huge ice ape appeared behind Leon, blocking Gray's attack with both arms. Gray confronted Leon. Leon, what the hell are you trying to do? What? Don't you understand? Of course, revive Dai Lionra, and then defeat it, so as to prove that I surpassed you. Just for this nonsense, you're going to resurrect Dai Lionra? Do you want Yu's sacrifice to be for nothing? Hearing Gray's words, Leon said with a ferocious face, Boring. You actually said my dream is boring? You have become very arrogant. Gray. Fire Dragon's roar. Natsu spewed out a beam of flames and attacked Yuka and Toby. Fluctuation. Boom. The flame dissipated, and Yuka and Toby were not hurt. Yuka looked at Natsu and said, What a raging flame. Could it be that you are the fire dragon in the legendary fairy tale? We used to be mages of a well-known guild, and we wouldn't be defeated so easily by you. You've heard of Lamia Scale, the mages guild, right? Toby stood on the other side and formed a two-sided attack and said proudly, Yes. We have Jura known as Rock and Iron. Boom. Natsu released flames from both arms, interrupting the words of the two. You listened to what was said. Who cares about you? I don't care which guild's mages you are and who your companions are. Those things are none of my business. Crack. Mom. Raise it a little higher, can't you hear me? At this moment, Altair was bound by a rope of condensed spiritual power. With both hands raised high, the rope outlines a perfect line, which is extremely alluring. This professional technique, Teacher Chun had to call out Big Brother after seeing it. You pervert, let me go if you have the ability. Altair cursed with flushed face. The hot A** gave her a strange feeling. This feeling is indescribable, like pain, but more sour. Now she only feels blushing and heartbeat, and her whole body is weak and weak. It's hard to catch a beautiful female prisoner. If you don't train her, is she still a man? Jinryusai said it as a matter of course, and then patted it hard again, causing a ripple. You. Altair had tears in her eyes and a look of embarrassment on her face. She felt her back was bulging now. A strong sense of shame made her stare at Jinryusai fiercely. But Jinryusai didn't seem to care. Instead, he looked at her provocatively and slapped her twice from time to time. Can you let me go? I will do whatever you want. Altair's expression suddenly became seductive. He took the initiative to tilt his buttocks, and winked at Jinryusai with a sigh of relief. Snapped. As soon as Altair finished speaking, he felt that he was slapped again. Not only was it very painful, but the strange feeling reappeared. Don't play with fire. I'm afraid you won't be able to put out fire. Big pervert. You go. Altair, who was just about to yell at Jinryusai in disbelief, looked at Jinryusai and said, You let me go? I've played it, but you still want to rely on me, and I won't be able to take responsibility. Jinryusai untied the Ryatsu rope, patted it one last time, and said, Altair didn't react too aggressively this time. And this B*** D took up all the advantages of his body, so it's nothing to take another shot. Sniff. But in the next second, when he saw Jinryusai smelling his hand with enjoyment, Altair's face turned blood red instantly. Ah, you pervert, I will fight with you. Come again? Then I'm not welcome. Ah, B*** D. Pervert, you hurt me. Sorry, it feels so good. I killed you. Duh. Chapter 54. Seeing Altair's back tilted away, Jinryusai smiled triumphantly. He sighed secretly. He was really a gentleman. Hey, Jinryusai, take me. Just when Jinryusai was about to go up to see if Lucy was okay, and if there was a chance to be a hero to save the beauty. Hearing Natsu's voice, he looked down. That guy also ended the fight, and was waving to him, motioning to take him up with him. Natsu Jinryusai. As soon as I got back to the altar, I heard Lucy's voice. When I looked up, I saw Happy flying over with Lucy. Lucy suffered a slight injury on her body, but she was fine overall. Upon questioning, it turned out that Lucy was also involved in the battle. He won the one-on-one battle with the girl named Sharia. Not far away, the battle between Leon and Gray has reached a fever pitch. Because the two sides are brothers and have similar magic, it is difficult to tell the winner, and the fight is a war of attrition. Ice make White Tiger. Roar. A magic circle lit up on the ground, and a huge white ice tiger quickly rushed towards Gray. Ice make Cage. A cage appeared to enclose the ice tiger, damn it. Leon tried his best to control it, but no matter how hard the ice tiger struggled, it couldn't break through the cage. Didn't Ulu tell us a long time ago that the shape of one hand is unstable, and he can't exert his full strength at critical moments? Ice make. Ice cannon. Boom. Wow. Leon was hit by the ice cannon head-on, screamed, then knelt down on the ground, and said with dull eyes, No. Impossible. How could I be defeated by you? Because I have companions in the guild, I will progress faster. Leon, you should also find a guild to join in the future. After finishing speaking, Gray turned around and walked towards Jinryusai. Several people gave each other a high five with smiles on their faces. Soon several people came underground again, and their mission was not completed yet. Although I don't know what the devil's curse is, it is most likely related to the frozen die lion. On the way, Gray said the reason why Leon wanted to revive Lion, and Jinryusai was speechless for a while. To prove that he surpassed his master, so that he could resurrect the demon that his master had sealed at the cost of his life, and then defeated himself? What kind of retarded brain circuit is this? Even an idiot like Natsu wouldn't be so brainless. Just for this, so many people are cursed. It's too much. He doesn't know. Find a place where no one is there. Natsu cursed loudly angrily. Jinryusai. Lucy. Well, still overestimated the IQ of this idiot. While speaking, several people came to the frozen die lion. The surroundings are dark and empty. The temperature is extremely low, and the terrifying die lion pulls the cowardly Lucy and Happy into fear. Is this the source of the curse? Natsu kept looking at the demon inside the ice cube with great interest. Except for Ignir, he had never seen such a big creature. Destroy it. If you stay, Leon will continue to do the stupid thing of resurrecting the lion. After destroying it, he will completely cut off his thoughts. After hesitating for a while, Gray said with a slightly sad look in his eyes. He knew that Jinryusai had that ability, and in that endless flame, everything would be incinerated. Good. Just as Jinryusai nodded in agreement, his expression changed slightly. Then he frowned, and looked at the frozen die lion with a puzzled expression. What's wrong? Jinryusai. Although Lucy was scared, she still noticed Jinryusai's expression. This frozen demon seems to have two fragile soul waves. Jinryusai said seriously. What did you say? Everyone was shocked, especially Gray, whose body couldn't help shaking. Does Jinryusai say that? You mean, you is not dead yet? Gray ran over, grabbed Jinryusai's shoulders with both hands, and looked at Jinryusai in ecstasy. No, your master Ulu is dead. Jinryusai shook his head and whispered. The surprise in Gray's eyes darkened, his arms trembled, and he loosened Jinryusai's shoulders feebly. It's just that her soul doesn't seem to dissipate completely. Perhaps it has something to do with her absolutely frozen magic. Jinryusai's words rekindled Gray's hope. Jinryusai, can you save you? Gray looked at Jinryusai expectantly and pleadingly, as if grasping at the last straw. I can only try. Jinryusai looked at Gray's pleading eyes, and finally couldn't bear to dash his hope. Except that Jinryusai wasn't sure either, not at all. Jinryusai also experimented with Benjiu, and wanted to try to create void. But without exception, all failed. I don't know if it's because of the broken jade, or the rules of this world, or he didn't use the right method. In short, Jinryusai all failed. Stand back a little. Jinryusai pulled out the Zanpakuto from his waist, and said solemnly, Please. Gray bowed to Jinryusai, and stepped back with Natsu, Lucy, and Happy. Call. Jinryusai adjusted his breathing. His pupils became heavy, and the Ryatsu was firmly locked on the two Ryatsu in the huge ice block. Benjiu, I really need your strength this time. Jinryusai thought silently in his heart. Then, with a firm gaze, without any hesitation, the Zanpakuto pierced fiercely into the ice. On Jinryusai's chest, a jewel that shone with blue-black light shone faintly. A strange wind and wave rolled up, and Jinryusai's Ryatsu poured into the huge block of ice. Wow! The huge ice block that wrapped Dai Lion's pool was shining with white light. This. Gray clenched his fists, his heart beat faster, and he watched this scene expectantly. The white light gradually changed from soft to dazzling, making it hard to keep your eyes open. Roar! Ah! Suddenly, two beast-like roars, not human-like, resounded through the entire underground cave. Chapter 55. Roar! Ah! The dazzling light gradually dissipated, and two beast-like roars that did not resemble humans resounded throughout the underground cave. That is what? Gray opened his eyes with difficulty and looked ahead in disbelief. Not only him, Natsu, Lucy, Happy, all stared wide-eyed, opened their mouths wide, with disbelief on their faces. In front of Jinryusai, the huge block of ice had disappeared. There are only two huge creatures, one black and one white. The huge black figure, known to everyone, is none other than Dai Lion, known as the undead demon. And another white monster. Everyone has never seen it, let alone understand why it suddenly appeared here. It was a pale monster half the size of Dai Lion, standing on all fours like a snow leopard, but with a pair of huge wings, crisscrossed fangs and sharp claws, declaring that this monster belongs to the status of a predator. The tyrannical aura exuding from his whole body was even more frightening than that of the immortal demon Dai Lion, and that kind of fear came from the depths of his soul. The most special thing is that this white monster has a hollow that runs through the body at the chest. Gray, Natsu and the others are having a hard time imagining how this monster whose chest was pierced survived. Because of the rules of the world, it is set here that virtuality is an entity which can be seen by human beings. False. Or Yachukas. Jinryusai looked at the white monster in front of him in surprise, and couldn't help but feel happy. It worked this time. Void of soul. But why? Why is Master Gray's soul able to be blurred? And after being blurred, it will be a middle-level big void of Yachuka's level? Deep doubts flashed in Jinryusai's eyes again, although he created this one through the collapsed jade and spiritual pressure. But he didn't understand the principle at all. It is more reasonable to say that it was a mistake. Roar! Yachukas, who looked like a snow leopard, roared violently, stepped on all fours, and slammed into Lionla. Oh ho ho! Even though it was much smaller than Dai Lion, it knocked Dai Lion to the ground in one fell swoop, and the crushed stones flew all over the sky, shaking the ground. Ho ho! Dai Lion pulls the same tyrannical breath, wanting to tear up the little things on her body. The sharp claws made a sound of piercing through the air, as if they could tear everything apart, and ruthlessly grabbed the snow leopard, pressing on him. Clang! When the sharp claws scratched the body of the snow leopard, there was a harsh sound like the collision of iron objects, and sparks flew everywhere. Steel. Huh? Liandai Lion's weak soul has become much stronger. Is it because of Benjiu's power that he repaired his body by the way? Watching the hand-to-hand fight between the two huge monsters, Jinryusai stood there and muttered to himself. He could feel that Dai Lion, who was already a dying candle in the wind, had grown stronger in soul and body after creating Ichukas. Chirp! A white bullet condensed in the mouth of the snow leopard, and it blasted towards Dai Lion's huge body. Boom! Boom, boom, boom. Compared with the false flash, although the power of the false bullet is much smaller, the attack speed is 20 times faster. Oh ho ho! Dai Lion was hit in the front, his powerful body was directly torn apart, blood spattered, and he screamed in pain. Yuan. Jinryusai, what the hell is that? Gray appeared next to Jinryusai and asked with a panicked expression. If nothing else, that should be your master. Ulu. Jinryusai was a little embarrassed and explained with a guilty conscience. How? How did you turn into such a monster? Did he receive magic? Gray shook his head and asked in disbelief. This is very troublesome to explain. You can understand that Ulu's body is dead, and I can only resurrect her soul in another life form. Jinryusai touched his head and explained with an embarrassed expression. And when it comes to resurrection, it's even quieter. Because through the Ryatsu Jinryusai can feel the East Asian Yonkas are full of devouring, destroying, and tyrannical breath. Like a beast with only instinctive desires, without any reason at all. It stands to reason that Ichukas already possesses wisdom. But the Ichukas created by Jinryusai are more like Kirin with stronger power, only the desire to eat. Is this a success or a failure? Gray was shocked when he heard Jinryusai's explanation and turned his head to look at the snow leopard who was attacking violently with complicated eyes. Ho 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 ho. Bang bang bang. Boom bang oh ho ho. Boom boom boom. The battle between the demon and Su is still going on, and both monsters exude a terrifying aura. Bloody hand-to-hand combat, the wildest fighting. Biting with sharp teeth, tearing with claws, body bumping. Unstoppable vibrations in the ground. Rocks shattered and danced. Ah! Dai Lion wailed in pain again. His right arm was bitten off by the snow leopard. Blue blood gushed out like a fountain, flowing on the ground, and the ground hissed. White smoke was corroded. The snow leopard completely didn't care about the corrosiveness of the demon's blood. It grabbed the demon's arm with its sharp teeth, biting, chewing, and swallowing it directly. This. Gray trembled all over. He couldn't accept that the gentle and powerful Ulu would turn into such a bloodthirsty and cruel monster. Tear. Although it is smaller in size, Dai Lion is no match for snow leopard at all. The sharp teeth and claws of the snow leopard can easily tear apart the immortal body that Lion is proud of. But Dai Lion couldn't do anything to snow leopard. At best, he used brute force to push him back. As time went on, Dai Lion's body became more and more bruised, corroded, and splattered everywhere. Tear. The snow leopard once again bit off a large piece of flesh on Dai Lion's shoulder and swallowed it directly into his stomach. Boom! Dai Lionla, Nuaqian Zhao, screamed in pain, and with his remaining left arm, he patted the snow leopard hanging on his body to the ground, smashing a deep hole. Seeing that little thing shake his body, he stood up again. Dai Lion pulled his scarlet and tyrannical pupils, flashing a look of fear. Dai Lion La scared. This little thing terrified him, the demon. Dai Lion took 2 steps on his hind legs unconsciously, his daughter-in-law twins. However, Snow Leopard didn't give him a chance to escape at all. With a flap of huge wings, it swooped over again. Ho ho ho! Snow Leopard has brutal scarlet pupils, only decorated with crazy killing intent. Even the pair of emotionless eyes that the devil looked at each other would care about business. Tear. This time, the sharp claws of the snow leopard pierced directly into the flesh and blood of Dai Lion's chest. Opened his bloody mouth full of blue blood, biting fiercely on Dai Lion's head. Chapter 56, Collapsing Jade, False Flash. The snow leopard opened its mouth wide and bit Lionla's head fiercely. Crack! The devil's hard skin was like tofu, and it was easily bitten through. The muscles, blood vessels, and the hardest bones were all crushed by sharp teeth. Uhu! Dai Lion pulled half of his cheek, which was torn, making him look even more hideous. It has to be said that the vitality of the demon is really tenacious. Even after this, Lion can still let out a deafening roar. Crunch, crunch, operator. The snow leopard chewed the flesh and bones of the demon, looked at Dai Lion with icy eyes. Blood dripped from the corner of his mouth from time to time, dripping on the ground with a hiss sound. OM. At this moment, Jinryusai's pupils contracted suddenly because he felt a throbbing inside him. This throbbing comes from the collapsed jade in the body, which seems to reveal a longing. Benjiu actually reacted? This is the first time Jinryusai has felt the reaction of Benjiu since he traveled through time. All these years, no matter what method Jinryusai tried, he couldn't communicate with Benjiu. Although Benjiu was in his body, it was like a proud iceberg snow lotus, never making any movement. Bong Yu wants to the soul of a demon? Looking at Dai Lion, who was bleeding profusely from 410 and was being knocked down again and again by the snow leopard, Jinryusai's eyes were fiery. Jinryusai couldn't help walking forward, trying to collect Dai Lion's soul. Tear crack. Ah! Finally, as the snow leopard once again fell on Dai Lion, biting his neck. The tall demon struggled twice, then lost his movement, and his scarlet pupils lost their spirit. Dai Lion's body cracked little by little, turned into fly ash and began to dissipate, and that huge body disappeared in the blink of an eye. As for why the body dissipates after the demon dies, no one knows the reason. Is this true of all demons, or only those created by Zeref? Then I don't even know. Jinryusai appeared at the head of Dai Lionra, who turned into ashes, and a spiritual pressure covered the surroundings. A wave of energy that only Jinryusai could see was drawn into his body and then absorbed by Benjiu. Jinryusai can feel that his collapse seems to be a bit different. It's like the broken parts patched up a bit. Jinryusai secretly scolded himself for being an idiot, knowing it in his heart. In the manga, Aizen, in order to create and feed Benjiu, used the souls of Luhun Street who have the talent of the god of death, the soul of the god of death, and even the soul of Su. But Jinryusai has only fed the souls of Warcraft and the Dark Guild mages these years. Could it be that the restoration of the collapsed jade requires a different soul? Jinryusai had a new guess in mind. But it's not right. Isn't Lullaby also a devil? Why is there no reaction after absorbing Benjiu? Thinking of this, Jinryusai had another headache. Bongyu seems to have become a picky eater. Since the past 2 years, Bongyu has been unwilling to devour ordinary weak souls. Jinryusai still can't figure out Benjiu's feeding method. It would be great if there was another Kasuke Urahara. Jinryusai shook his head secretly and sighed. Life is not easy. Let me sigh. It can only be said that there is a specialization in the art industry, and the captain inherited by Jinryusai, although powerful, has reached the peak of the 4 death skills of chopping, punching, walking, and ghosting. But in terms of research on the soul, he is not good at it. Although Jinryusai knows the function of Bongyu, but how to use it and how to feed, it can only be slowly explored by himself. Just like we play games and know how to use skills, but the programming and code of this skill are only known by designers and code writers. Like this time, what was the principle behind Yuchuka's being created? Jinryusai didn't know. Why didn't Benjiu respond to Lullaby, but was throbbing with Dai Lionla's soul? Jinryusai didn't know either. But Jinryusai at least understands one thing, that is, Benjiu needs different souls, such as a demon or a dragon. Yuan, Cage, Lu Zhai, who was thinking, suddenly felt a chill all over, as if he was being targeted by something terrifying. Looking up, he met Yuchuka's cold and bloodthirsty eyes. Oh, do you think I stole your food? Or, are you treating me as food? Jinryusai closed his pupils and said lightly. Roar! Achukas roared at Jinryusai, and a violent Ryatsu raged. Gray Natsu, you guys get out of here first. The farther the better. The Su of Yuchuka's level is not something that the current Natsu can face. No. Natsu felt the pressure from Achuka's body, and nodded without trying to be brave. Lucy also said in fear. Jinryu sighed. Then be careful. Happy. Let's withdraw first. Hey. Gray's complexion was tangled. His fists were clenched and loosened and clenched again, and the moment he turned around, he said to Jinryusai, Jinryusai, please, don't hurt Alu. Jinryusai didn't answer. Gray didn't wait for Jinryusai to speak, closed his eyes, gritted his teeth, and left here with Natsu and Lucy. Yachukas, with his bestial instincts, seemed to feel the pressure from Jinryusai. There is no such thing as attacking Dai Lion, directly rushing to bite. Instead, he kept walking around Jinryusai with his limbs, and stared at Jinryusai with scarlet eyes. However, the bloodthirsty instinct still defeated the instinct of the beast. The snow leopard opened its bloody mouth wide, condensing white energy. False flash. The proud son of heaven, the iron city wall, the dragon's walk, the lion's roar, the tiger's roar, and the wolf's run, cut off the world before it collapses. 81 of the way of binding, breaking the void. Jinryusai didn't dodge. He wanted to feel the power of this Su. Of course, let's not be careless. In the original comics, the Yachuka's level Su has a captain-level Ryatsu. Jinryusai's current Ryatsu is not much stronger than Chuka's, which is to say, he created a monstrous monster. No, it should be Benjiu who created a terrible monster. Benjiu, what an incredible thing. Chirp. Boom, boom, boom. A white virtual flash shot out, and a long ravine was plowed into the ground along the way, and the terrifying energy wiped out everything in front of it. The white energy collided with the black barrier brazenly, and the powerful shock wave centered on the collision point and quickly swept away towards the surrounding area. The earth cracked, rocks turned into powder, and waves of terrifying energy raged around. Explosions resounded through the cave, and the entire underground was collapsing. Clatter, pieces of rock fell, and gravel fell like raindrops. Boom, boom. After a while, the entire building above cracked and collapsed. The flames of the explosion and the smoke and dust aroused by the collapse of the building rushed into the sky, and then scattered in all directions like fireworks. Chapter 57. Run. With flames under his feet, Natsu looked at the collapsed temple behind him and the aftermath of the explosion that shot straight into the sky and ran towards the distance. This is too exaggerated. Lucy yelled desperately. Fortunately, they ran fast, otherwise they would be buried alive in it. Hey, by the way, Lucy, you are too heavy. Happy grabbed Lucy and flew, saying aggrieved baby. Shut up, you naughty cat. Lucy blushed pretty and shouted angrily. Looking down at his pride, he couldn't see his toes at all, so he couldn't help feeling proud again. Stop talking nonsense, run farther away, and stay away from the people in the nearby village. Gray said calmly while running. That's right. Once Jinryusai goes all out, this island will be destroyed. Hey, Happy nodded again and again. Lucy couldn't help complaining. Is it so scary? Shwa, shwa. Two piercing figures rushed out of the collapsed pit, standing on the left and right above the abyss. Even without wisdom, Achuka's is still Achuka's, and his power should not be underestimated. Jinryusai looked at the snow leopard, with its white fangs on the opposite side, and commented. Roar. This time, the snow leopard didn't linger any longer, but directly rushed up fiercely, extremely fast. Jinryusai put his hand on the handle of the knife. His eyes were cold. Caress and chop. The light of the knife suddenly appears, and the edge is revealed. Clang. Blades collide with sharp claws, iron tools clang, and sparks fly. Boom, boom, clang, boom, boom, boom. In the blink of an eye, the two sides fought for more than 10 rounds, gradually fighting from the ground to the sky. There were continuous sonic booms and the sound of iron objects colliding in midair. Chirp. Boom, boom, boom. From time to time, there are flaming explosions, false flashes, false bullets, and broken paths continue to explode and roar. It's too exaggerated. On the edge of the island, Lucy looked up at the constant roar of collisions in the distance and said in horror. Boom, buzz, buzz, boom, boom, boom. Jinryusai and Snow Leopard fought back to the ground from the sky. The entire island shook for a while, and everyone was terrified. The village chief and the villagers were so frightened that they all knelt on the ground. Looking at the eyes of Jinryusai in the distance, It seems that he is looking at a god. Only when the gods are angry and fighting can they have that kind of heavenly power. Hoo-hoo! Neat wounds appeared on the body of Snow Leopard, and Jinryusai's figure was reflected in the scarlet eyes, panting heavily. But soon, his wound healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Opposite him was Jinryusai, who looked unscathed. Only the cuffs of his clothes were a little damaged. It's really difficult. Let you calm down first. Looking at this Snow Leopard, who only had the desire to kill, Jinryusai said helplessly. As soon as the words fell, the tip of the knife pointed obliquely at the ground, and open-air Ryatsu gushed out from Jinryusai's body. Everything is ashes. The blade is like fire. Boom! The terrifying golden flame instantly reduced everything around Jinryusai to ashes. Endless flames poured out crazily, as if they were going to swallow the entire island. And in the middle of the flames, Jinryusai stands in the center holding a knife. Like a ghost from hell. The earth was burned and rocks turned into lava. Ah, what is that? Looking at the sea of flames like a natural disaster, and feeling the sudden rise in heat, Lucy shouted in horror. That's the true power of Jinryusai. The blade is like fire. Gray swallowed and explained tremblingly. Even if it wasn't the first time I saw it, the fear that seemed to be engraved in my bones could not be suppressed. Hey, this is because Jinryusai has controlled the range of the blade like fire. Otherwise, the whole island will be covered in flames. Happy also explained with the same fear. Looks like I took a bite. Ah, what should I do? Natsu watched the sea of fire in front of the island with longing and fear. But he didn't dare to get close to the soaring sea of flames. Even though they were so far apart, he still felt hot and dry. If he touched the golden flame, he might be burned to ashes before he swallowed it. The high temperature of the flame was simply not something Natsu could bear. As for the villagers on the island, under the leadership of the village chief, they kowtowed to the god of fire. Roar! Surrounded by flames, the Snow Leopard also became restless and manic. He can feel the deadly threat from the sea of fire around him. Calm down for me. Jinryusai held the knife in his right hand and slashed down heavily. The torrential golden flames rushed towards the Snow Leopard like a tide. Ho-ho! In the bloodthirsty and violent pupils of the Snow Leopard, there was a look of panic and fear. Even Yachukas, who only had the instinct of a beast, felt the breath of death. Bear! Audash, covered in flames, the Snow Leopard couldn't dodge at all and was burned by its screaming. The white body was scorched black in an instant, and the burning pain caused him to roll his eyes and fainted. Cull! As the Snow Leopard fell, the golden sea of flames quickly dissipated, and it disappeared completely within a short while. Only a large area of scorched earth remained, and the original ruined eaves of the temple, intricate rocks, and forests have completely disappeared at this moment. It sounds like a long time, but in fact, it took less than a minute from the beginning to the end of the flame. This is the power of the strongest and oldest flame-type Zanpakuto, flowing blade Roo. Daxu, who is as strong as Yachuka's, can only be killed in seconds in Lurin Ruo. This is because Achuka's spiritual pressure is strong enough, and even if Jinryusai stopped, he was not burned to ashes. What can we do about it? Jinryusai put the knife back into its sheath, looked at the blackened and comatose Snow Leopard, and scratched his head in distress. Yachuka's, created by Yuryu's soul, obviously only has the desire to kill and devour, but has no wisdom. Achuka's often falls into fear because he needs to devour his own kind constantly, otherwise he will degenerate into Killian. Jinryusai wondered if the Yachukas he created would do the same. Now there is only one way: forcefully break the face. This is the only way to stabilize Yachukas. Yachukas after breaking his face will no longer degenerate, and after devouring a large number of souls, he can still evolve from Volstord. Number 6 Grimjow, who was not Varstored in the Broken Face chapter, but evolved after the Millennium Blood War chapter. And most importantly, Ulu should be able to regain his reason after breaking his face. Chapter 58 Forcibly Breaking the Face. Jinryusai stepped forward slowly. Yachuka's Daxu's size was still very huge for him. It is more than 3 meters high, with a body length of more than 5 meters, and a pair of wings spread out, which is more than 10 meters. Walking in front of the jet black Snow Leopard, Jinryusai looked a little short. If it weren't for the rising and falling abdomen from time to time, I would think it was dead. However, Suku has the ability to regenerate at a super speed, although Yachuka's is not as good as Vastord. But the resilience is still amazing. Jinryusai could feel that Yachuka's, who was unconscious on the ground, was recovering quickly from his injuries. The burned skin peeled off little by little, and new steel skin was growing. Hopefully it will work. Jinryusai put one hand on the head of Snow Leopard, expecting in his heart, because he knows very well that the success rate of forcibly breaking the surface is very low. Once it fails, I am afraid that the soul will become the nourishment of Benjiu. But Jinryusai had to take a chance. Otherwise, a Yachuka's who only knows how to kill and devour the instinct of 107 will be a big disaster. Jinryusai's Ryatsu broke out suddenly, and the powerful oppression made King Jiao split like a spider's web. Benjiu, please. Jinryusai said silently in his heart, and mobilized the power of Bungyu with Ryatsu. On his chest, a jewel that shone with blue-black light seemed to sense Jinryusai's wish. A special energy poured into the huge body of Snow Leopard through Jinryusai's right hand. Ho ho! The Snow Leopard, who was in a coma, suddenly opened its scarlet pupils and roared in pain. Ho 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 ho! Boom! Boom! The Snow Leopard stood up with a distorted expression and a low growl, as if its body was in great pain, rolling, beating, biting, and roaring. The scorched earth around was photographed with potholes. The huge body vented its pain frantically, ran frantically, fell to the ground, and kept rolling and struggling. The pupil suddenly looked at Jinryusai. At this moment, he completely forgot the fear just now. With a loud roar that twisted his face, he rushed towards Jinryusai. The wall of iron sand, the tower shaped like a monk, the burning iron Ying is silent because of its determination. The 75 five-pillar iron guns that bind the Tau. 5 huge iron pillars hit the head and limbs of the Snow Leopard, making it immobile. Ho 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 ho! Ah! The Snow Leopard, who was pressed down by the iron pillar, kept struggling and roaring, and the spiritual pressure on his body became more and more violent. No one can help you now. You can only rely on yourself. Looking at the twisted and painful Snow Leopard, who was constantly struggling, Jinryusai put his hands together and released a stronger spiritual pressure. Enchantment for Beast S*********. For yellow light films rose in the 4 directions of Snow Leopard, locking him inside. This enchantment was used by the Masked Legion in the comics to train Kurosaki Ichigo's virtualization, and its defense is very strong. Now, the power of Benjiu is raging in Yachuka's. Whether it can be successfully broken depends on the luck of the Snow Leopard. Bang bang bang. Ho 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 ho. The spiritual pressure of the Snow Leopard became stronger and stronger, and it became more and more bloodthirsty and violent. The 5 huge iron pillars pressing down on his head and limbs finally couldn't hold on, and were directly crushed by the spirit pressure of the Snow Leopard. Ah! The Snow Leopard roared to the sky in pain, and the scorched ground under its feet was instantly frozen by ice. The spiritual pressure increased rapidly, and the temperature dropped again and again. Jinryusai's exhaled breath turned into a white mist visible to the naked eye. The ability to affect the weather is very similar to Donshiro's Harinwan. Looking up, looking at the snowflakes falling from the sky, the corners of Jinryusai's mouth turned up slightly. Up until now, the spiritual pressure of the Snow Leopard has been continuously improved, but instead of exploding and dying, it has developed stronger abilities. That's a good sign. Ho 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 ho. Ah! Ka ka ka, squeak squeak. The Snow Leopard inside the barrier became more and more violent, and seemed to be in more pain. Constantly struggling inside, claws scratched at the barrier, making an uncomfortable rubbing sound. The ground was smashed to pieces by him, and even his own body was seriously injured in the self-torture. Ho 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 ho. In the powerful spiritual pressure, the temperature is getting colder and colder, and the air seems to be condensed with frost and mist. The huge body of the Snow Leopard was wrapped in spiritual pressure, and the white spiritual pressure was like ice, frozen him in it. The Snow Leopard no longer struggled, and the roar of pain disappeared. The huge body was gradually completely frozen, and his figure was no longer visible. Inside the barrier, the snow is white, covered with frost, and there is only a big, frozen cocoon, beating heartbeats from time to time. Jinryusai waited quietly. The low temperature around him had no effect on him. There's nothing going on there. Should we go and have a look? On the other side, the edge of the island, Natsu suggested, pointing to the distance. Absolutely not. The sea of flames that was so terrifying before, now it's snowing again. It's too weird. We'd better wait. That's what she said. An old-fashioned ancient clock with a human face said plainly. Zero Lucy, who was shivering in cool clothes, hid inside the ancient clock. Hey, I also think it's weird. Speaking of which, why is it snowing? Happy opened her cat's claws to catch the snowflakes and complained suspiciously. Isn't that interesting? We should go and see it. I'm on fire. Natsu yelled excitedly. No, no one is allowed to pass. Don't bother Jinryusai in the past. Shirtless Gray, standing in front of Natsu, spoke with a seriousness he had never had before. Looking at the snowflakes falling on the island, Gray couldn't help feeling hopeful. At this time, he was the one who was most anxious and eager to know the situation there. But Gray, who calmed down, suppressed the anxiety and curiosity in his heart. Never allow anyone to disturb Jinryusai. In case, because of their interruption, Jinryusai fell short, he would never forgive himself. Hey, Happy looked at the serious Gray and agreed with him. All right. Natsu didn't make a fuss at this time, because he knew that Su was saving Gray's master. This waited from daytime to evening. The snowflakes have stopped long ago, but the temperature is still very low. But Natsu and Gray, a fire-type dragon slayer and an ice-type mage, don't care about the low temperature at all. Only Lucy, wrapped in thick clothes sent by the villagers. As for her celestial spirit, time has passed, and she returns to the celestial spirit realm. The village chief and the villagers also gathered here and did not leave. It was the flames descended from the gods, and it was also the weird weather. They didn't dare to leave without authorization, staying with a few master wizards, at least a little sense of security. On the other side, Jinryusai, who was sitting cross-legged on the spot and practicing Ryatsu, heard a sound and opened his eyes involuntarily. _. Small cracks appeared on the surface of the frozen cocoon. Finally, did it work? Jinryusai stared expectantly at the frozen cocoon. His spiritual pressure has been paying attention to Yachuka's spiritual pressure. Since the spiritual pressure has not disappeared, it proves that he is not dead. And the Ryatsu has become stronger and more stable. Now that there is movement, has it been successfully broken? There are more and more spider web-like cracks, extending the entire minister. Finally, boom, the huge white firefly exploded, and a looming figure appeared in Jinryusai's sight. Chapter 59. Finally, boom, the huge dang exploded, and a looming figure appeared in Jinryusai's sight. A gust of wind blew past, and the surrounding frost and fog dispersed. I saw a female standing there who was petite but well-proportioned, exposing a large area of snow-white skin, and only the important parts were covered with white bone. He has short dark hair and a bone wolf-shaped mask on his head. His face is beautiful and cold, with a mature personality, but it also gives people a kind of indifference that rejects people thousands of miles away, just like the snow lotus on the iceberg, cold and noble, not to be profaned. There is a small hole running through the body below the chest, and a long white and blue knife is held in his hand. At this moment, her blue pupils looked a little confused. Congratulations, you have successfully broken your face. Jinryusai's slightly joyful voice sounded, making her bewildered pupils look over. Boom, the sound of air crashing sounded, and you appeared in front of Jinryusai after breaking his face. Ring turn, a high-speed movement technique unique to Pomian, even better than Shunpa. Who are you? Ulu could feel the Ryatsu from Jinryusai. 20 gave her an extremely intimate and familiar feeling. After all, Woolu can blur. In addition to the power of Benjiu, there is also the help of Jinryusai's spiritual pressure. My name is Jinryusai Heath Ledger. Do you still have memories of your life? Jinryusai took off his coat and put it on Ulu. Feeling the temperature from the jacket on his body, Ulu's cold cheeks blushed, but he didn't mean to refuse Jinryusai. As if deep in her soul, Jinryu-sai is the most trustworthy person. Yes, I remember I was dead. When I sealed the undead demon lion, I died with him. Wooloo regained his cool look in an instant, and after thinking for a while, he spoke calmly. Just when he said that he was dead, he gave Jinryu-sai a hesitant look. Seems worried that Jinryu-sai will misunderstand her as a monster. Forgot to introduce, my name is Ulu Milkovich. I know, I resurrected you. You resurrected me. You pointed at himself, opened his small cherry mouth, and looked at Jinryu-sai in disbelief. Resurrect you in another form. You should know something about it. Jinryu-sai looked at you with a smile. Although I don't know what Ulu looked like before he was alive, Ulu after breaking his face is really beautiful, both cold and wild. Wooloo lowered his head, seemed to feel it for a while, nodded and said, I should be called Su now? It seems to be a form of human soul after death, and there are some more original calendar areas in the computer. Ulu's cold face is sometimes happy, sometimes tangled, and sometimes sad. She still needs time to adapt to her new identity and new body. Don't think so much, you are still alive. Isn't that the most important thing? Jinryu-sai put his hands on Ulu's shoulders and said in a gentle tone. Wooloo raised his head and looked at Jinryu-sai's deep and dark eyes. His impetuous heart somehow calmed down miraculously. The four eyes met. Her pretty face was stained with a layer of blush. She took 2 steps back in a panic and said, Thank you. Thank you. Soon he regained his composure and said seriously, Anyway, thank you for saving me. You're welcome. Your apprentice, Gray, is now my partner. You are his master, and it is only right to save you. Jinryu-sai smiled slightly and said with his hand, Gray, where is he? Hearing the news about Gray, Ulu asked in surprise. Come on, I'll take you to him. Jinryu-sai smiled gently and walked forward with you under the moonlight. On the way, I even told her, Why did you come here? Some of the things that happened on the island, of course, including her other apprentice Leon. In order to prove that he surpassed her, he did these stupid things, Leon. I'm sorry, I really caused you trouble. Ulu was very happy to hear the news of another apprentice, and then apologized to Jinryu-sai in embarrassment. It's okay, you don't have to worry about it. Who doesn't have a guy with a bad brain around him? Speaking of this, Jinryu-sai couldn't help but think of that idiot Natsu. Compared to Leon, Natsu should be more stupid. Along the way, the relationship between the two gradually became familiar, and they were no longer as polite as before. Even because of the spirit pressure, it seems a little intimate. Jinryu-sai is back. On the edge of the island, by the campfire, Natsu's dog nose moved slightly. Where? Is Jinryu-sai back? Hey. Gray, Lucy, and Happy all looked anxious, their eyes scanning the night. Especially Gray, with a tense expression, concern, expectation, and worry in his eyes, all indescribably complicated. Tap, tat, tat. 2 figures appeared slowly under the purple moonlight. Ulu. Gray's whole body trembled when he saw the cool and beautiful figure in a coat beside Jinryu-sai. Surprise, excitement, joy, astonishment, disbelief. Although the temperament has changed and the appearance has also changed, but Gray can be very sure that it is Ulu. Then all the emotions turned into excitement 250 and ran towards Ulu. Ulu. Gray. Seeing the familiar figure running towards him, gradually overlapping with the young and stubborn figure in his mind, Ulu recognized that this was her apprentice, who had grown up. Boom. Gray's eyes were flushed, weeping with joy. He opened his arms to give Ulu a long-lost hug. But as soon as he arrived in front of Ulu, he was kicked away by Jinryu-sai beside him. Gray, you are so old. Is it polite to hug your master shirtless? Jinryu-sai clenched his fist and said coldly. Ulu, who was about to hug Gray, couldn't help but cast a glance at Jinryu-sai, who had fierce eyes beside him, from the corner of his eyes. The corners of his mouth curled up in a nice way, and he lowered his hands. Gray, you've grown up so much. It's great to see you again. Ulu lifted Gray up and said happily, You're alive? I'm so happy. Gray didn't care about Jinryu-sai's kick at all, and looked at Ulu with red eyes. To see Ulu again, he would be beaten half to death by Jinryu-sai. Just as he was about to hug Ulu with excitement, he was once again stopped by a cold gaze and stopped. Gray could clearly feel the murderous intent in that gaze. Ulu couldn't help giving Jinryusai a dark look, but his heart was slightly sweet. Chapter 60. This is my master, Ulu Milkovich. Ulu, this is Lucy. This is Happy. This idiot is Natsu. They are all my guild partners like Jinryusai. Master Wooloo, hello. Hey, Master Wooloo. You are so beautiful. Happy, you are cute too. Gray introduced Natsu and others to Wooloo, and the smile on his face never stopped. Master Wooloo, what are you? You are so handsome. Natsu looked at Ulu's shape, especially the hollow below the chest that runs through the body, with stars in his eyes, and asked excitedly. Boom! Gray punched Natsu on the head, baring his teeth and yelling. Show me some respect. Hang yourself up. Do you want to fight? You exhibitionist. Come on. Boom. Boom. Be quiet. You two, or I'll throw you into the sea to feed the fish. Jinryusai punched each of them unceremoniously and said viciously, AI. Natsu and Gray nodded in fear. Puff. Like an iceberg melting, Wooloo's cold face bloomed like a snow lotus with a smile. Jinryusai hasn't read the original. If he has, he will know. After breaking the face, Ulu is even more beautiful than when he was a human being, especially the cool temperament, which is fascinating. No, Jinryusai was dumbfounded. Noticing Jinryusai's blank stare, Ulu put away his smile and glared at him. But from Jinryusai's point of view, that look is more like shame, anger, and coquettishness. By the way, what about your senior brother? Jinryusai coughed twice in embarrassment, then turned to Gray and asked. We didn't see them when we came out. Some villagers saw Leon being taken away by his partner and left by boat. Gray shrugged and said nonchalantly, That's it. Jinryusai didn't care either. They were just some crazy kids who were being used. They were disobedient. Just beat him up next time. Master Jinryusai, which temple? At this time, the village chief came over with a group of villagers, looked at Jinryusai, and asked cautiously. Well, it was destroyed by me, so it doesn't affect you much. The village chief quickly waved his hand and said, It doesn't matter, and we never go there. But what is our curse, my lord? That's right. Dai Lion has been defeated. Why hasn't the curse been lifted? Hey, the moon in the sky is still purple. Do you want to take Leon and the others back and ask? After being reminded by the village chief, Jinryusai remembered that there is still such a thing as removing the curse. How do you feel that Ulu looks somewhat similar to the woman named Altair whom he trained? It must be a coincidence. Jinryusai shook off the messy thoughts in his head and looked up at the purple moon. Never had so many weird thoughts before. Since taking down Mirajane and Urza and eating meat, there have been more of them. I see. Jinryusai, do you already know what the curse is? Well, just destroy the moon above. Are you trying to destroy the moon? Jinryusai, that's amazing. Gray quickly shook his head and said, No, impossible. Even Jinryusai is unlikely to destroy the moon. Let me do it. My disciple has caused so much trouble for this village. Let me fix it. Wooloo took a step forward and said earnestly, Okay, I'll leave it to you, you. Jinryusai understood Yu's mood and stepped back. Everyone stepped back so as not to affect Ulu. Ulu stretched out his right index finger, and the blue-white light converged between his fingers. That ray gathered powerful energy and terrifying oppression, causing ripples in the atmosphere. Wang Su's flash. Chirp. A blue-white energy beam shot out violently. Boom! There was a violent crashing sound in the sky. Lucy shouted in horror. God! Gosh! I was shattered by Ulu. The sky is going to collapse. Hey! Natsu and Happy panicked. Call. The sky shattered like glass, and the undiminished blue and white beams shot straight into the sky. Then it turned into light and gradually dissipated, and the white moonlight shone on the island from the sky, appearing warm and peaceful, instead of the purple light that seemed so weird. Okay, that's amazing, Gray said dully. Natsu asked, Has the moon been destroyed? Jinryusai said to the terrified crowd, What are you thinking? The moon is so far away from us. How could it be destroyed? And the sky is falling. Aren't you ashamed to say that? What's in the sky? Ulu explained apologetically. If I'm not mistaken, it should be when Leon used the ritual to condense the moon drop. A crystallization layer of exhaust gas was produced in the air, which cannot be seen when the light is sufficient during the day, but it can be seen through the crystallization layer at night. It looks like a purple moon, but they don't seem to have changed much. They are demons in the first place. Of course they haven't changed. It's just that their memory is a bit confused due to the influence of the moonlight, and they think they are human beings, so they send a task request to the Wizards Guild. Jinryusai shrugged unsurprisingly. The souls of these villagers are different from humans, but similar to demons. When he saw these villagers yesterday, Jinryusai noticed. I thought it would be some kind of conspiracy, so I didn't expose it, but waited and watched. But after these incidents and the reactions of the villagers, Jinryusai knew that the village chief was not lying. So there was only one possibility: memories messed up. It's unbelievable to say, even nonsensical, good. But for Jinryusai, who has done so many threatening and weird missions, it is not uncommon for his memory to be confused. He has also experienced the entrusted task of tampering with the memory of a small town. Demon. Lucy and the others were taken aback. They thought that humans were cursed to become like that, but they didn't expect that the other party was really a demon. So it means that they slept in a demon's village last night. What happened to the transformation? It's a devil after all. It's normal to be born with the ability to become a human. Natsu came up to someone and asked, "So you guys are really demons?" The man thought for a while and said, "It seems to be true." Gray. Lucy rubbed her forehead. "I can't complain anymore." Natsu. Devil. So handsome. Happy flew up and said in agreement, "Hey." Duh. Chapter 61. That night, the villagers held a banquet to celebrate the restoration of memory, and the so-called demons danced wildly. The happiest among them, apart from Gray, who was resurrected because of Ulu, is Lucy. Because of this S-level task entrustment, this remote and poor village simply cannot afford the 7 million J reward. At that time, Jinryusai almost destroyed the island in anger. No one has ever dared to PR*ST****Uta him for free, not even the council that manages the Magic Guild. In the end, all the demons presented a zodiac key in fear, and with the persuasion of Gray and others, Jinryusai let these demons go. The next day, Jinryusai and others left Galuna Island under the respectful farewell of all the demons. Ulu has also agreed to join Fairy Tail. The matter was finally resolved satisfactorily. Gray surrounded Ulu all the way, and his smile never stopped. Only Natsu, Lucy, and Happy, like frostbeaten eggplants, feared that they would be punished if they went back. When Jinryusai and others arrived at the guild, everyone was stunned. I saw that the guild that was originally a tavern was now in tatters, and the guild was pierced by several huge iron pillars. How did the guild become like this? What the hell happened? B********************. D. Who did it? Damn it, who? What happened? 990 suddenly. Boom, boom, boom. A powerful spiritual pressure pressed on the entire Magnolia. Boom. The atmosphere became heavy and cracks appeared in the ground. Crack. Crack. Several cracks appeared on the tables, chairs, and walls around the street. The pedestrians passing by suddenly turned their eyes white and fainted on the ground. Bang, bang, bang. The entire Magnolia fell to the ground one after another, unable to resist the oppression from the soul at all. Wow, it's so heavy, this pressure. Gravity? No, it's not gravity. At this time, everyone on the basement floor of the guild was startled. Many newcomers had already passed out, and others also used magic power to resist the sudden gravity. Makarov, who was drinking, immediately shouted in horror, "No, that brat Jinryusai is back. Hurry up and hold that guy, otherwise there will be a big mess." But the strong pressure makes it almost impossible to move. "Stop, brother-in-law, please stop, everyone is fine." A figure hugged Jinryusai from behind, and stopped towards Jinryusai with a loud K sound. Hearing this familiar voice, Jinryusai's angry mood calmed down a little, the spiritual pressure slowly dissipated, and the dull atmosphere finally returned to normal. "Lisana." Together with Gray, Natsu asked Lisana, "Lisana, what the hell is going on?" "It's a ghost, come with me first." Lisana quickly led Jinryusai into the basement floor, where everyone in the guild except those who had given out missions was here. "The horrible oppression just now, it really is your kid who came back." And Natsu, Gray, and Lucy are all back. Huh? Who is that beautiful lady? Welcome back, Jinryusai. Jinryusai, this time we have to settle the score with the ghost. Yes, Jinryusai. How dare they openly destroy our guild? When many people in the guild saw Jinryusai's return, it was as if they had seen the backbone. Makarov still looked the same as usual, with a slight drunkenness on his face. When he saw Jinryusai and others coming over, he raised his hand and said hello. Yo, welcome back. Oh, there's a newcomer. Natsu shouted at Makarov. Master, is it still time to drink? Oh, really? You went to perform S-level missions without authorization, and you will be punished now. Makarov tapped Natsu and Happy on the head as he spoke. When he wanted to hit Lucy on the buttocks, he was stopped by Jinryusai, and Makarov withdrew his hand as if nothing had happened. President, do you know what's going on now? The guild has been destroyed. Makarov said, calm down. It's not a big deal. The ghosts and the group of guys only have this ability. Why should we be proud of smashing the guild when we're not around? There is no need to be angry with this kind of opponent who can only sneak attack. Just ignore them. On the contrary, Jinryusai, you guy, we were not killed by the enemy, but almost scared to death by you. You can't calm down. Makarov said drunkenly while drinking. Natsu shouted angrily. How can it be just like this? I must beat them. That's the end of it. We're working on it until the upstairs is fixed. Where is the mood to work? Makarov said loudly. Natsu, calm down. Regular mage guilds are not allowed to attack each other. Hearing the president's serious words, everyone clenched their fists, with a surge of anger in their hearts. Oh, by the way, is this a newcomer? Makarov smiled lightly and changed the subject. President, this is my master, Ulu Milkovich. Gray immediately introduced. It turned out to be Gray's master. Wow, I didn't expect Gray's master to be such a beautiful mage. It's not that I heard that Gray's master has. Idiot, that must be a rumor. Oh yes. Hello, Mr. Makarov. You can call me Ulu. Ulu had heard of Makarov's fame before. Ha ha ha. Ulu, please teach me more in the future. Makarov had also heard the name of the strongest ice mage in the north. But he heard from Gray that you sealed the undead demon lion with his life. President, Ulu has agreed to join our company. Gray said impatiently. Really? That's great. Makarov looked at Ulu in surprise. Seeing Ulu nodding, Makarov was very happy, and the other members were also very happy. Oh, welcome, Ulu's joining. With the addition of Ulu, our guild has grown even stronger. Yes, it's just right to find trouble with ghosts. Welcome you. Thanks. Mira Jane greeted Ulu with a smile on her face, then hugged Jinryusai's arm and pinched him hard at an angle that others could not see. Hiss, Jinryusai gasped. She knew Mira Jane was jealous. Mila sauce, it's not what you think. This time the matter is very complicated. I'll explain it to you later. Jinryusai whispered flatteringly in Mira Jane's ear. Mira Jane felt the heat coming from her ears. Her pretty face flushed. She gave Jinryusai a white look and ran over to talk and laugh with Ulu. By the way, it is also stamped with the fairy tale mark. In this way, Ulu officially became a member of Fairy Tale. Chapter 62. Jinryusai, is this the end of the matter? After Mira Jane left, Natsu came over and asked Jinryusai. Natsu was still furious, and he wanted to beat up Spectre's bastards right now. Jinryusai said with a smile. There's no need to be angry. It's good that people are fine, and there is no need to rush to settle the score slowly. After speaking, he turned around and walked up the stairs, leaving the basement of the guild. President, Jinryusai is really angry. Are you really all right? Mira Jane said to Makarov worriedly. After all, he was her man. Mira Jane naturally knew Jinryusai's temper. Lucy was taken aback and asked curiously, is Jinryusai really angry? Obviously, it seems to be normal, with a smile on his face. Mira Jane explained, Jinryusai is like this when he is really angry. He will talk less, and people will become quieter. But when he does things, he is earth-shattering. I remember that the biggest thing he did was to destroy the Magic Council headquarters. Makarov said with a relaxed smile. Jose is a bit too presumptuous recently. He even dared to destroy my guild. Let that guy suffer a little bit. President, are you saying that Jinryusai might attack the Ghost Guild? It's not a possibility, but a certainty. That kid has never been the one who is willing to suffer. But the president, didn't you say that regular mage guilds are not allowed to attack each other? Makarov scolded loudly. I told you not to make trouble. When did you hear that? Boys, be careful. This time, if the other party retreats despite the difficulties, it's fine. If they dare to sabotage again, they will be beaten back hard. Oh. Hearing what the guildmaster Makarov said, the members of the guild immediately became excited. Ruler of Ghosts. The strongest guild in Kingdom of Fiore, but in recent years, its reputation has gradually been surpassed by Fairy Tail, and many people even believe that Fairy Tail is the strongest guild in the kingdom. Its president, Jose, is also one of the Holy 10 mages and is very powerful. But the ranking is behind Makarov. Yo, Gajeel, you're back. How's it going? I heard you went to attack Fairy Tail. Gajeel grabbed a piece of iron and stuffed it into his mouth. This is the base camp of ghosts. As the signature mage of the guild, Iron Dragon Gajeel was sitting in the corner of a pile of iron blocks, eating iron blocks. Vulnerable. Ha. As expected of Gajeel, but it should be because there is no one in their guild. Boom. Gajeel bit the iron block in his mouth and pressed the laughing man's head straight into the wall. Jazai, are you trying to ***s me off? Gajeel had a cruel smile on his face, but it was a pity that he didn't hear the screams, otherwise it would have been more enjoyable. The person who just made the net directly bled from his head and passed out. Everyone stopped talking when they saw Gajeel getting mad, drinking their own wine silently, wanting to go back quickly. Who knows who the next target of this lunatic is? Fairy Tail. It's just a bunch of rubbish. I can take care of it by myself. Gajeel sat back and ate the iron and said confidently. Boom. Suddenly, the gate of the Ghost Guild shattered open. Who? The members of the Ghost Guild who were drinking immediately stood up and shouted to the door. Jinryusai walked in, glanced at him, and said, Where is Jose, the president of your guild? Let him come out for me. Fairy Tail. Everyone in the Ghost Guild also saw the logo on Jinryusai's clothes. A mere Fairy Tail is here to make trouble. I think you are impatient. Come on, brothers. Ooh, kill him. Boy, go to hell and regret messing with our ghosts. Looking at a group of ghost members who released various magics and surrounded them, Jinryusai looked cold, stretched out his right hand, and said, 33 of the broken way. Songhua pendant boom. The blue light shines and shoots towards everyone around. Wow. Everyone was blown away and hit the wall. Kacha. Cracks appeared on the wall. What kind of rubbish is that? Jinryusai put down his right hand indifferently. Weird monster. 0 for flowers 0. How is that possible? All of us in one blow. Is this the Fairy Tail wizard? Will someone tell me now? Where is your president? No, we don't know. We were just called here this morning. One said, looking at Jinryusai in horror. Jinryusai could see that the other party didn't tell any more lies, and frowned. What kind of tricks does Jose want to play? Iron Dragon Stick. Suddenly, an iron rod hit Jinryusai from behind Jinryusai. Jinryusai stretched a finger back without looking back. Ding! A crisp sound sounded, and fingers pressed against the iron rod, making it impossible for the thick iron rod to move forward. 0 How? How is it possible? One finger blocked Gajeel's attack. Even stones can be smashed into pieces by Gajeel's iron rod. How can human fingers? Is that guy still human? The members of the Ghost Guild stared wide-eyed at the scene before them in disbelief. You must know that Gajeel is the trump card of the Ghost Guild, and his strength is stronger than the 4 elements of the S-grade. How could someone block his iron rod with one finger? Turning around, Jinryusai saw a young man in black clothes with iron nails on his face, who looked very bad and rebellious at first glance. It looks like you're the guy who sabotaged our guild. Gajeel smiled ferociously and said, I don't know what you are talking about. I only know that you came to our Ghost Guild to beat people and destroy them, and I came to stop you. Fairy Tail's strongest mage, Flame Calamity Jinryusai, and I am also the strongest mage of the Phantom Lord Guild. Why don't we compete here to see which guild is the strongest? Stop me? Is it up to you? Let your president Jose come out. Since you are still a regular guild, I'm only looking for the mastermind this time. Jinryusai shook his head. The smile on Gajeel's face disappeared. Although his appearance this time was only a task assigned to him by the president, he hated being underestimated, and he could see that the other party didn't take him seriously at all. Chapter 63. Damn it, you be asterisk 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 D, die to me. Iron Dragon Gun. Gajeel shouted loudly. His feet turned into spears and stabbed at Jinryusai. Overreach. Jinryusai sneered in disdain. Without any power, he directly punched the extremely sharp iron gun. One bone. Boom. Whoa. Gajeel let out a cry of pain, and cracks appeared on the iron dragon rod that his leg turned into. The iron rod changed back again, and blood flowed from Gajeel's leg. This is still because Jinryusai didn't use his full strength, otherwise this hidden vein would have broken Gajeel's leg. Iron Dragon's roar. Gajeel's face was fierce. He didn't admit defeat. His cheeks puffed up. A silver whirlwind metal storm flew towards Jinryusai. One bone. The 740, which also looked ordinary, hit in vain, and just hit it with a fist. Buzz bang. The fist collided with the metal storm. There was no explosion as imagined, and there was no blood spatter. Boom. The direction of the metal storm changed directly, opening a huge hole in the roof of the Ghost Guild. Shwa. Jinryusai appeared in front of Gajeel in an instant. Gajeel's face changed drastically, and before he had time to react, Jinryusai punched him in the abdomen. Wow. Bang bang. Bang, bang, bang. Immediately afterwards, a series of dizzying attacks hit Gajeel's body. Gajeel screamed. Even if his body turned into lost skin, it was useless. Under Jinryusai's Ryatsu-wrapped fist, even steel can be crushed to pieces. Gorgeous white strike moves and smooth attacks made Gajeel even have no chance to fight back. Although you are not the mastermind, as a person who destroyed the Fairy Tale Guild, you should be punished accordingly. When Jinryusai said this, he threw Gajeel up casually. With a stronger Ryatsu covered in his hand, with a swish sound, he jumped to the half-minister who was on the same level as Gajeel. Then he punched Gajeel hard. One bone. Bang bang. Boom boom boom. The atmosphere immediately sounded a violent sonic boom, and cracks and distortions were visible to the eyes of the atmosphere. Boom. A terrifying force hit Gajeel's chest. Puff the blood in Gajeel's mouth splashed like spring water. Whoa. Boom boom boom. The body flew upside down like a cannonball, screaming screams from the mouth. Blood was continuously splashed in the air, and countless buildings were smashed continuously along the way. Suddenly, just as Jinryusai's attack ended, and he fell back to the ground. The ground under his feet was like a wriggling swamp, immobilizing his legs. Jinryusai frowned slightly. His body was covered by shadows. A tall figure suddenly appeared behind Jinryusai. It was Acnologia, the head of the 4 elements of the Ghost Guild. At this time, Acnologia opened her eyes, clasped her hands together, and shouted, "Airspace. Destroy." The light of magic shines, and Jinryusai is right within the range of his magic. So sad. So sad. Why am I so sad? Is it because a great wizard is about to die? Noisy. Jinryusai shouted impatiently. Crying is so ugly. Shut your mouth. Arya, who was still crying, stopped abruptly. Looking at Jinryusai in disbelief, he said, I have exhausted your magic power. Why are you doing nothing? Magic power? It's just something you learn to pass the time when you're bored. If you want it that much, just take the time. While saying this, Jinryusai stepped on his feet, and the Ryatsu directly shattered the ground that bound him. Go away, don't be an eyesore here. He hit back with an elbow casually, hitting Azora Arya's abdomen. Boom. Acnologia vomited blood, screamed and flew backwards, crashed into several walls, and was buried by ruined stones, but Jinryusai didn't kill him. After all, they were all members of the Guangming Guild. He didn't want to make things difficult for the old man, and rashly killing the members of the regular guild would not have a good impact on Fairy Tale's reputation. Seeing that Jose hasn't appeared yet, Jinryusai presumably has given up here and won't appear again. It looks like that D Jose is afraid to come out, so there is no need for this place to exist. 0-inch Jinryusai stepped on his feet, and his figure disappeared instantly. When it reappeared, it was already standing in midair, overlooking Phantom Lord's Guild. What does he want? Have no idea. I have a bad feeling. Quick, retreat quickly, get out of here. Yes, let's go to the president. Only the president can avenge us. Jinryusai stretched out his right hand, aiming at the Ghost Guild building that was twice the size of Fairy Tale below. Beast bones, spears, red crystals, and steel wheels are scattered all over the place. When they move, they are the wind, and when they stop, they are empty. The sound of spears striking each other fills the void city. Terrifying energy condensed in front of Jinryusai's right hand, and everyone could feel that suffocating energy fluctuation. No, not good. Go. Run. Tat t t t t t t t t. 63 Thunder Roar Cannon. Call out. Boom, boom, boom. Dazzling thunder and lightning radiated in all directions, bombarding the Ghost Guild like a punishment from heaven. The Ghost Guild exploded immediately, and the roar of the explosion resounded throughout the world. Immediately afterwards, the surrounding ground was also affected, continuously shattering, and the whole city was shaking slightly, scaring everyone in the city to scream. When everything subsided, the hall of the Ghost Guild had disappeared. There was only one bottomless pit left on the ground. The surrounding area was scorched black, and 1.0 white smoke was still rising. The public, the guild. He destroyed our guild with one blow. Monster! How could such a thing happen? It's so scary. Step. Jinryusai calmly landed beside the scorched pothole. Stop. Suddenly, at this moment, a group of men in white clothes holding long guns appeared around Jinryusai. Magic Council? A frogman wearing the clothes of the Magic Council said, I am the envoy of the Magic Council, Fairy Tale Sorcerer Jinryusai. You wounded many members of the Phantom Lord Guild and destroyed the Phantom Lord Guild Hall, causing serious damage to the city. Now the evidence is solid. According to the law of the Magic Council, he should be arrested. Chapter 64. Now that the evidence is solid, according to the law of the Magic Council, he should be arrested. Jinryusai looked at the supervisory force of the council in front of him and said with a smile on his face, Arrest me? It seems that the council has made great progress over the years. What do you mean? The frog messenger said arrogantly. From this point of view, in order to save face and prevent those black histories from spreading, the council has done a thorough job of blocking the news. Jinryusai ignored the clamoring frog at all, touched his chin, and thought maliciously. If Jinryusai's guess is correct, the Magic Council should have used some coercive special means in order to block information about him. Otherwise, how dare you come to arrest him? However, it is also understandable that if Jinryusai had destroyed the headquarters of the Magic Council, the council would still have to compromise with the news that Jinryusai had no choice but to change the location of the headquarters, and the black history spread in the kingdom. Not to mention that it is a devastating blow to the prestige of the Magic Council. The subordinate magic guilds may follow suit, and even unite with 257 to no longer obey the council's orders. Don't think it's impossible. After all, the power of role models is infinite. There is absolutely no shortage of pretentious mages among mages. What Jinryusai can do, they think they can do it too. Even within the Magic Council, it will cause quite a bit of turmoil. Therefore, the Magic Council had to block information about Jinryusai and the dark history about the council. Jinryusai, now come with us to the council and be judged. Seeing Jinryusai's indifference, the frog messenger immediately became furious. In his heart, no one can resist the authority of the Magic Council, even the Holy Ten, under the leadership of the council. Interesting, then I'll take a look with you. But don't blame me for not reminding you. You can take me there, but it's not so easy to let me go. Jinryusai smiled harmlessly. You want to leave after doing something that violates the rules of the Magic Council? Stop dreaming. The frog messenger looked at Jinryusai with a very proud expression. Oh, really? Jinryusai smiled slightly, his eyes full of mischief. At this time, a thought body appeared beside the frog messenger. With a purple shawl, a wizard-like tall hat, and a poison lip color, he is one of the 10 holy wizards, Jose Porla, the president of the Phantom Lord Guild. Seeing this, the frog messenger immediately bowed slightly to salute. After all, this is Holy 10 Jose Porla, the president of the strongest guild in Kingdom of Fiore. At present, Spectre is still ranked first. The main reason is that Fairy Tail doesn't care about the opinions and rankings of the outside world. Even if it is the supervision force of the Magic Council, it must be respected to a certain extent. Jinryusai said mockingly. Jose, you don't even dare to show your body. You only use your thought body to appear in front of me. So you have the nerve to say that you are the Holy Ten Mage? That's too bad. Jose was not angry when he heard Jinryusai's ridicule, but said with a smile, I just used the simplest way to win. Flame Calamity Jinryusai, Fairy Tail's strongest mage. If the two of us fight, this city may be destroyed then. No, you think too much. It's not that difficult to kill you. Jinryusai raised his hand to interrupt Jose's words. Jose's expression became ferocious, and he said, You arrogant brat. That's right. Your face should be so, ugly. This despicable person's appearance really matches you. I beat your people and smashed your guild. Why are you still pretending to be a big-tailed wolf with me? Jinryusai taunted unscrupulously, with extremely disdainful eyes. Damn you, brat. Let the Magic Council greet you home. Jose's figure disappeared after speaking. The frog messenger waved his hand and said, Put him in the magic handcuffs. Several people who supervised the troops immediately stepped forward to handcuff Jinryusai. Jinryusai's pupils shrank slightly, and a powerful spiritual pressure surged out, pressing on them. Oh, what's with this gravity? Jinryusai, is that you? Too heavy. I can't breathe. The frog messenger lay on the ground covered in sweat, raised his head with difficulty, and shouted at Jinryusai. Jinryusai, do you dare to arrest him? Jinryusai walked slowly in front of the frog messenger and stepped on his face. Wow, quack, quack. The frog messenger was stepped into the ground and croaked. Your council still dares to invite me over. I'm very happy. But I don't like the way you speak. All the former counselors dare not speak loudly in front of me. It seems that the new counselors of this term have become bolder. Jinryusai was very insulting, rubbing the soles of his feet on the face of the frog messenger, and said in a cold tone. Everyone in the supervision team was crushed to the ground, and they didn't even have the strength to stand up. Who dares to resist at this time? Where did the frog messenger see such a vicious person? Even the Magic Council's messenger would dare to fight him. Looking at that cold look, it is possible to be killed even if you talk nonsense. Let's go. I haven't visited the Magic Council for a long time. I will go to see it this time. I don't know how many old friends are left now. Jinryusai withdraws the frightening Ryatsu. Hoo-hoo. The people who supervised the troops stood up one by one, panting heavily, looking at Jinryusai timidly and cautiously. Jinryusai strode forward and left, and the frog messenger and others quickly followed behind, not daring to breathe. It seemed that they were not arresting Jinryusai, but rather like a group of followers waiting behind Jinryusai. P.S. Just to report to everyone, there may be one less chapter today and tomorrow, and I have to deal with some bad things at home. If I have time, I will try to keep it updated. But don't worry, it will be up to today and tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow will be updated normally. Chapter 65. Hoo-hoo. The monster is finally gone. Ha-ha. That guy will definitely be sentenced by the Magic Council. Flame Calamity Jinryusai, Fairy Tail's strongest mage. Now without him, what will Fairy Tail do to fight us? That's right. The president is still thoughtful. We must teach Fairy Tail a lesson this time, and let Jinryusai know what will happen if you offend us. Jose's figure appeared, and there were several people beside him, who were the other four-element magicians from the Phantom Lord Guild. President found Arya and Gajeel, both seriously injured. Gajeel? How's the injury? Gajeel gritted his teeth and said, I'm fine, President. This level of injury will heal soon. This time it was a big blow to him. He didn't expect that he would be helpless in Jinryusai's hands. Even Jinryusai didn't use magic, just a gorgeous taijutsu to defeat him. Flame Calamity Jinryusai, worthy of the name of Calamity, is simply a terrifying monster. Soul of the Four Elements said with lingering fear that he had just used magic underground to restrict Jinryusai's actions. Jose said with a grim face, Damn Jinryusai, you dare to destroy my guild. This time you must pay with blood. If that stinky brat sees his guild disappearing, he doesn't know what expression he will make. 11 Magic Council. At this time, Because of the news of the arrest of Jinryusai, the MPs were called to the meeting. What does the chairman of the council mean? Don't you just arrest a fairy tale member? Why do you need to hold a special meeting? A new senator said impatiently. I think it's because it's fairy tale's S-rank mage. After all, Makarov is the Holy Ten. Another middle-aged man who was also recently elected as a counselor said nonchalantly. Although Makarov's identity as the Holy Ten was mentioned, his tone didn't care at all. Humph, that guy is so daring, disregarding the council's regulations, wantonly attacking the regular Magisters Guild. He should indeed be arrested and brought back for trial. I suggest that he be imprisoned immediately and disband the Fairy Tale Guild. Almost half of the MPs present have just taken office. Due to unknown reasons, the Magic Council has changed to a new location, and many members of Parliament have been held accountable by the King and have been dismissed. It can be said that the Magic Council has undergone a major change. Among them is Jinryusai's acquaintance, Altair, and of course the newly promoted Holy Ten Zikaline. These counselors who have been in office for less than 2 years all want to make some achievements for the kingdom to see. Coincidentally, the Phantom Lord Guild leader, Jose, sent news that Fairy Tale Demon Islander Invincible attacked his guild members. After discussing with several congressmen, they sent a team of supervisory troops to investigate. If it is true, it can just suppress Fairy Tale, who has been very active recently. President Crawford, you called us here, but you have to say a word. Seeing that the chairman of the council stood there with an ugly face and hadn't spoken for a long time, a member of the council asked. Other congressmen also looked at Crawford, the chairman of the council. Crawford glanced at the few congressmen who made their own claims and said, "Whoever ordered the arrest, let him deal with it. Whether you want to maintain the majesty of the council or take some advantage from Jose, it has nothing to do with the council. As I said before, all issues related to Fairy Tale need to be decided by voting. Since you are ignoring my words, you can solve it yourself." After saying, it disappeared. Obviously, the body of thought has been disbanded. Originally, he called the meeting to make those people bow their heads to Jinryusai and admit their mistakes. But looking at the arrogant attitude of those people, it is clear that they don't take Fairy Tale seriously. That being the case, why should he bother talking? Anyway, this matter has nothing to do with him, and when the king pursues it, those people will arrest Jinryusai on their own initiative. A bunch of idiots. I don't even think about it. There are so many guilds. Why is Fairy Tale so special? Regarding the matter of Fairy Tale, I said to vote to decide. Crawford cursed inwardly. The remaining 9 members of the council looked at each other in blank dismay. Has the chairman of the council escaped? The second seat of the council, Oge, suddenly said loudly, "Oops, I almost forgot. The Lord arranged for me to coordinate the cooperation of several guilds. Everyone, I'm leaving first." After speaking, he immediately disbanded his thought body. 0 for flowers. 0. The rest of the MPs were a little confused, although the king's mission needs to be taken seriously. But, as for the rush, cough, cough, cough. Councillor Yakima suddenly began to cough violently, as if he was about to cough out his lungs. "Yakima Counselor, who are you?" Yakima waved his hand and said, "I'm old. I'm sick all over. I still have a few days off, so I'm going to see a doctor first." After speaking, he disappeared without waiting for other congressmen to reply. "Let's talk to the pony." Yakima, who left, glanced at the direction of Fairy Tale with a heavy heart. This beat all the remaining reviewers out of reach. However, the people present are all old fritters who have worked their way up to this position. They have already seen that the chairman of the council, Oge, and Yakima obviously don't want to get involved in this matter. But why? Isn't it just a Fairy Tale S-level mage? Suddenly, a woman's voice said, "Everyone, I also want to take a rest first. Altair, what's the matter with you?" The escape of 3 consecutive congressmen made the remaining few of them very dissatisfied. Altair said with a smile like a flower, "Women always feel uncomfortable for a few days every month, don't they?" Hearing what Altair said, the expressions on the faces of several old guys present were a bit embarrassed. No one was ashamed to stop the woman's reason. Altair left here with a smile, but looked at those counselors with mocking eyes. "I also have some things that need to be dealt with." With a tattoo on his right eye and short sky blue hair, Zikaline raised his hand with a smile and said, "What's up?" Several other people looked at Chi Kilian one after another. After all, this young congressman has the strength of the Holy Ten. I have recently searched for information about my brother Jalal. Need to ask for proof. Zekaline said calmly. For this reason, the remaining 5 congressmen are not easy to refute. After all, it is not a secret in the council that Zekarine's younger brother fell into darkness. After Chi Kilii left, there were only 5 members left, 4 of whom were dissatisfied with the Fairy Tale Guild. Chapter 66. A group of cowards, who are the kingdom's judges, actually ran away like this. That's right, but it's just a fairy tale mage. So what if Makarov is the Holy Ten? Those 3 are old. As for the 2 young people, they are useless. In the future, the council will still depend on us. That's right. That's right. As the new members of the Magic Council, we should change some of the bad atmosphere of the council. Even the guild with the Holy Cross in charge, if it violates the regulations, it must be punished. That's right. The 5 remaining members of the newly promoted councillors spoke nonsense one after another. They always believed that those members of parliament who wanted to stay out of the matter, including the chairman of the council, did not want to offend Makarov. Just when the 5 of them were boasting. An unparalleled force of gravity suddenly descended on the headquarters of the Magic Council. Crack, click. There are cracks in the glass of the Magic Council, as well as in the building. Wow. What happened? This, gravity. Enemy attack. Did 20 people come to attack our council? How is it possible? Who dares to do that? What happened? Quick. Go check it out, Your Excellency. We can't move at all. This powerful oppression does not seem to be as simple as gravity. At the headquarters of the Magic Council, many guards who were still patrolling, their eyes turned white, and they fainted on the ground. Boom, boom, boom. The entire council fell to the ground one by one, unable to resist the oppression from the soul at all. But this sudden oppressive gravity came and went quickly. Seems to be just a provocation for a demonstration. Hoo-hoo, what is going on? The 5 congressmen stood up out of breath and asked angrily. They have never been so embarrassed since they became members of the Magic Council. At this moment, the sound of tattling footsteps came in. I saw Jinryusai walked in leisurely, looked at the somewhat embarrassed congressman, and said with a smile, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why are there only 5 people? They are all newcomers. I wanted to meet old friends. As he spoke, Jinryusai found a seat and sat down casually. This posture is as relaxed and comfortable as if this is his home. The appearance of Jinryusai stunned the 5 congressmen. Who are you? Fortunately, the frog messenger behind Jinryusai and other monitoring forces followed closely behind. The monitoring force stood behind Jinryusai, and the frog messenger went forward to report the situation. You are the fairy tale S-level mage, Jinryusai, known as Flame Calamity. If I'm not mistaken, you must have done the gravity just now. What? He dared to attack the Magic Council. This man is really audacious. He must be taught a good lesson. How dare you provoke the council? Sin is added to the list. Boom, boom, boom. Mikilo struck the gavel and said, Quiet. The other 4 counselors stopped cursing, but all looked at Jinryusai angrily. This time, this arrogant guy must be taught a lesson. Don't think that with Makarov's backing, you can do whatever you want. This is the Magic Council. Jinryusai, Phantom Lord's guild master Jose has accused you of attacking his guild members and destroying his guild. What do you say about this? Originally, Mikilo wanted to directly convict Jinryusai, but considering that they have just taken office not long after all, they still need to maintain a fair and just image of the council. So let's go through the process. Jinryusai spread his hands casually and said, There's nothing to say, but it's a pity that Jose, that shy turtle, dared not appear in front of me. Then you're pleading guilty. Huh? It's a crime to beat up some trash? It's also the Light Guild. What's the difference between what you're doing and what the Dark Guild is doing? Audacious, reckless, and ignoring the rules of the Magic Council. And your crimes are not limited to that. Some time ago in the town of Harjan, you destroyed the century-old clock representing the town. At Kaluki Station, you destroyed nearly 50 kilometers of tracks and a train. What do you have for these? Jinryusai said speechlessly, Didn't I lose money? Originally, you have already made compensation, and the council for these matters will no longer pursue your reckless actions. But now, you are blatantly violating the rules of the official mage guild that do not allow mutual attacks. Punishment for several crimes. Do you admit it? There's no point in denying it. I admit it. Jinryusai said indifferently. Okay. According to these crimes, you are sentenced to 20 years in prison, plus another 10 years for the public provocation against the Magic Council just now. Do you agree with the judges? Agree. 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 The other four nodded in agreement, looking at Jinryusai with even more arrogance. Boom, boom, boom. Michelle said loudly. 5 people voted, and all members passed. He was convicted. Put him in magic handcuffs, and now put him in prison. Crack, clack. Jinryusai sat there, applauding 960 calmly. Worthy of being a member of the council. It's really majestic. Sinner Jinryusai, what do you mean? Are you objecting to our sentence? Michelle looked at Jinryusai arrogantly, with a haughty expression. No. But what? I have no objection to the verdict, but I do not intend to obey it. Jinryusai shrugged and smiled as a matter of course. Are you trying to arrest? Get him for me. Yes. There are several guards around, as well as supervision troops, pointing at Jinryusai with wands. Roll. With a cold shout, pure spiritual pressure surged towards the surroundings, overwhelming the overwhelming pressure. Wow. Boom, boom, boom. The surrounding guards and supervision troops were all hit by an unrivaled pressure and flew upside down. Even though they had magic shields, they felt that their bodies had been severely injured in just a moment. The powerful spiritual pressure makes the weak unable to get close and can even directly destroy their souls. You can refer to the number 1 Kuyatai Stark in 10 Blades. In the early days of the virtual circle, because of the strong strength, the weak virtual will be automatically consumed by the soul and die, so there has been no companion, which is also the origin of his loneliness. Chapter 67. Wow. Jinryusai, what are you doing? Stop. How dare you attack the council's guards? It's an even worse crime. Seeing this scene, the congressman immediately shouted in shock. How dare you resist? Lawless. Your sentence has been changed. Death sentence. And the death sentence is executed now. Hearing this, Jinryusai stood up and said, You are so angry. Are you worried about losing your status? The faces of the 5 judges changed, and Yuan Lioli's words pierced their hearts. They arrested and sentenced Jinryusai, and now they are responsible for this situation anyway. No wonder those 3 old guys have slipped away. Most likely those guys chose to stay out of the matter in order not to take responsibility. Now there is only one way to minimize the responsibility, and that is to kill Jinryusai. In order to maintain the unchallengeable majesty of the Magic Council, all the responsibilities can be shifted to Jinryusai. The Magic Council still hasn't made any progress. In fact, I was sentenced to death 3 years ago. It is reasonable to say that I should have died 3 years ago, but why am I still alive after all these years? For why? Jinryusai grinned and said, Because they can't beat me. What? Impossible. You, a mere mage, can compete with the entire Magic Council? Don't overestimate yourself. What are you still doing in a daze? Kill him. Execute the death penalty directly. When the 5 members of parliament heard Jinryusai's outrageous words, they all thought that he was arrogant and talking nonsense. At this time, all the guards of the Magic Council swarmed with wands in hand. On the orders of the 5 counselors, an attack was launched against Jinryusai. Red, white, blue. Magic light of various colors condensed on the magic wands of the guards. Kill him. Counselor Michel, with terrified killing intent in his eyes, gritted his teeth and shouted. Choo. All kinds of magical energy shot towards Jinryusai. Such a dense attack. Ordinary mages can't resist at all. They will only be blasted into pieces. Jinryusai just stretched out a hand indifferently and said softly, 73 of breaking the way. Double lotus, Songhua pendant. 2 dazzling white beams of light radiate, and terrifying energy bursts towards the magic beam. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. The spacious conference hall suddenly exploded, and the roar of the explosion resounded throughout the world. The magic was wiped out in the berserk energy, and the momentum remained undiminished to attack the guards. The guards had no way to dodge and were hit by explosive flames in the front. Many people only had time to let out a scream before being blown into coke. A large crater was blasted out on the ground, and waves of shock waves and flames raged around, causing all the guards to be thrown to the ground. Too weak. It's been 3 years, and the council's guards haven't improved at all. By the way, can't you recruit some powerful mages? Or have you embezzled all the recruiting money? Looking at the guards lying on the ground, Jinryusai shook his head mockingly and smiled at the 5 congressmen. Damn it. The old man wants to take you down with his own hands, a heinous person. Saying that, Mikilo and the other 4 members jumped in front of Jinryusai. Only by you 5 trash. Jinryusai showed his white teeth in disdain. Don't underestimate our congressman. Although we are not the top 10 wizards of the Holy Spirit, we are still a merchant island second only to 2 in strength. Mikilo and the other 4 magic judges breathed fire from their eyes, and the magic energy in their hands condensed, and then the waves of magic energy in their hands were launched towards Jinryusai. Jinryusai didn't even move, but with one hand, he said lightly, "The 54th of breaking the Tao, waste flame." Disc-shaped flames whizzed out. The scorching high temperature made the atmosphere seem to be distorting, and the surrounding temperature rose rapidly. The magic of several people were all engulfed by the flames in midair, and then disappeared. The flames hit the 5 of them, and Mikilo and the others, who had no time to fight back, could only condense the magic shield in front of them. Boom! 5 people smashed a big hole in the wall and flew out, falling to the ground. Jinryusai tipped his toes, and his figure disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he landed in front of the 5 judges. Really? You are not even one of the top 10 wizards, so I don't know what you can be proud of. Master Counselor. A group of magicians from the Magic Council rushed towards Jinryusai. Jinryusai didn't look back, just raised his hand and stretched out a finger. 31 of breaking the way, red cannon. Boom, boom, boom. Wow. Ugh. The powerful flame impact knocked away all those who approached. Even those who did not approach were repelled by the fire wave. Jinryusai smiled and said, "Don't get too close. I'm timid, and there are so many of you. I'm really scared. You don't have to stare at me. I just like the way you can't get used to me and can't kill me." A magic judge said, "Jinryusai, do you think you will be forgiven for doing this? Excuse me? Did you make a mistake? Now I'm not going to let you go." Jinryusai smiled coldly and stretched out his palm to the building behind him. 63 of the broken way. Chirp. Boom, boom, boom. It was radiant and thunderous, and while everyone was stunned, Li Zhaohao, the 5-story building was directly smashed to pieces by the violent thunder and lightning. Not good. Get out of the way. Get away from the building. When the 5 magic judges saw this scene, their eyes widened and their faces were full of horror. Irresistible. They are totally irresistible. Jinryusai's strength is far beyond their imagination. Sound. At this moment, the 5 reviewers finally felt scared. They also finally understood at this moment why the 3 old guys ran faster than anyone else when it came to the flame disaster Jinryusai. Now think about what Jinryusai said just now. May all be true. 3 years ago, the Magic Council dealt with Jinryusai, but there was nothing they could do about him. It turned out that it wasn't that the Magic Council didn't want to punish Jinryusai and Fairy Tail for what they had done over the years. But they're not. Chapter 68. We are members of the Magic Council. What do you want? Jinryusai, I advise you not to mess around. We will review this matter again. You. Don't be impulsive. Noticing Jinryusai's cold gaze staring at them, Mikilo and the other 4 judges finally gave up. They regretted it. Regretted why they were obsessed with provoking Jinryusai, and why they had to arrest him. At the same time, he also began to resent the chairman of the council, and there were 3 old guys from Yakima in the second seat. The 3 old guys obviously knew what kind of monster Jinryusai was, but they didn't remind them at all, but ran away by themselves. It's too late to say anything now. My own life is in the hands of others. Altair and Jalal, who had been hiding to watch the show, were both silent. They thought that Jinryusai would make a big fuss at the Magic Council, but they never thought it would be this scene. The seemingly powerful Magic Council, in the hands of Jinryusai, couldn't survive a single round. A veritable monster. For such a monster, one has to kill it with one blow, or avoid it as long as it can, and being a member of the Magic Council is all cunning and cunning. Retrial? Arrest if you want to arrest me. Retry if you want to retry? 907. Who do you think Jinryusai? Jinryusai looked at them coldly, and slowly pulled out the Zanpakuto from his waist. I said it before I came, brought me here, and let me leave easily. It's not that easy. You, what do you want to do? Michelle and the other 4 counselors all took a few steps back, staring at Jinryusai with all their guard. I have other things to deal with. This time I will teach you a little lesson. Hearing Jinryusai's words, everyone secretly breathed a sigh of relief. It's the same as 3 years ago. Let's destroy your place. Anyway, your Magic Council has money, and it won't be long before you can rebuild another one. If you don't know how to do it, then destroy it. Jinryusai said calmly, with an extremely relaxed tone. It seems that destroying the Magic Council headquarters is as simple as drinking water. What do you want? Jinryusai, don't mess around. Attacking the Magic Council is an enemy of all magic guilds. Stop him. The 5 shouted threateningly or comfortingly. Cad, they must not let Jinryusai ruin this place. In that case, not only will the reputation of the Magic Council be greatly impacted, but the 5 of them will definitely be held accountable by the kingdom, and at the very least they will be dismissed, and they will not be able to keep their current positions. Looking at the members of the Magic Council gathered in all directions, and the 5 judges gathering their magic power, Jinryusai smiled coldly and said, "If you can stop it, you can try it." As soon as the words finished speaking, he pointed at the ground obliquely, and a powerful ryatsu gushed out from Jinryusai's body. Everything is ashes. The blade is like fire. Boom! The terrifying golden flame instantly reduced everything around Jinryusai to ashes. Endless flames poured out crazily, and in the center of the flames, Jinryusai stood in the center holding a knife. Like a ghost from hell. The earth was burned and rocks turned into lava. Wow! What kind of flame is this? A natural disaster. This is simply a natural disaster. Is that why? Jinryusai is called Calamity, Flame Disaster. So that's how it is. Monster! Monster! Quick, run away. Feel the high temperature like being in a volcano, watching the flames soaring into the sky. All 5 judges turned pale with astonishment, stunned, and at a loss. They have never seen such a terrifying sea of flames. If they knew that Jinryusai had such terrifying power, they would not dare to provoke Jinryusai even if they had the guts to do so. But now, it's too late to say that. Whether they can survive is still unknown. In just a moment, hundreds of guards who were a little closer to Jinryusai were all burned to ashes. Those who did not touch the flames were also burned all over their bodies and rolled on the ground in pain. The city is on fire. With the right hand of Jinryusai holding the knife, he swept across the entire Magic Council headquarters. Quick! Run! Get away from here, run! Wow! Weird! Monster! Boom! The raging flames instantly covered the entire Magic Council building. Wherever the flames passed, everything along the way was instantly burned to ashes. Whether it is a wizard or flowers and trees, solid buildings, rocks, rockeries, streams, everything was turned into fly ash in the terrifying flames. As for the people of the Magic Council, no matter how strong they are, as long as they run a little slower, they will be burned to ashes. At least half of the guards and the wizards of the supervision force were burned to ashes, and 3 judges were burned to death. Only Michelle and an old judge escaped by luck. It's over. The Magic Council has been burned. How could there be such a monster in the world? Damn it, Belluno and the others were all burned to death. Is this the true strength of Fire Calamity Jinryusai? What kind of monster did we provoke? Woo woo woo. F*** K bang bang. I'm an idiot. Why should I listen to that be ******* D Jose? I understand. The original Magic Council headquarters was scorched, probably caused by Jinryusai. Flame disaster, fire disaster, fire disaster. Mikilo and a group of Magic Council members were devastated, looking at the sea of flames covering the headquarters of the council with great fear. At this moment, in their hearts, apart from remorse, there is only deep fear. It was impossible to get rid of the fear that burned into the soul with that cataclysmic flame. Finally, the terrifying golden sea of flames dissipated. I saw a large area of magnificent buildings, intricate gardens, statues, and streams, which have completely disappeared at this moment. The only thing that can be seen is the large expanse of scorched earth and billowing lava that represent destruction and severance. That large area of black, it seems that someone has dyed the land black with ink. It looks so eye-catching, so daunting. The headquarters of the Magic Council, which used to be high above and ruled over all the formal guilds in the kingdom, was reduced to scorched earth at this moment. Chapter 69. The Scorching Heat, Scorched Earth, Flowing Lava. Who would have thought that this seemingly lifeless place is thousands of miles away? A few minutes ago, there was still a beautiful, peaceful, and magnificent Magic Council headquarters. Schwa. Jinri Yusai's figure suddenly appeared in front of the surviving Magic Council members. Woo. Seeing Jinri Yusai's appearance, many members of the Magic Council cried out in horror. But afraid of attracting Jinri Yusai's attention, he immediately covered his mouth with his hands and looked at Jinri Yusai with fear in his eyes. Yuan, Jinri Yusai, you can't kill us. We are of the Magic Council. Michelle and the other remaining commentator also said nervously with fear in their eyes. Jinri Yusai sneered twice and said sarcastically, I still like the way you all looked arrogant just now. No, dare not. At this time, Michelle didn't have any arrogance of the Magic Council, only fear and nervousness. Only at this time did he realize that compared with his own life, the so-called power is nothing to mention. As long as he can survive this time, he swears, he will take a detour if he sees anyone in fairy tale in the future. Are you still going to judge me? No. It's all a misunderstanding. That be asterisk D. Jose is lying to us. Since it was a misunderstanding, you have delayed my time for so long. Please tell me how to compensate me. Jinri Yusai said with a slightly raised mouth, but the hand on the handle of the knife was full of threats. Mikilo and the others were a little dazed, but when they saw Jinri Yusai with unfriendly eyes, they immediately reacted. Yes, compensation should be made. This time it's our Magic Council's fault. We decided to compensate you. 10 million. Do you think it's okay? Michelle and another reviewer looked at each other, gritted their teeth, and said flatteringly, Okay, who told me to be kind and talkative? Remember to send it to me when the time comes. If I ask for it in person, it will cost $1 million to travel. Yes, we will definitely send the compensation to Fairy Tale. That's right. As expected of a newly promoted counselor, he really knows the current affairs. Jinri Yusai patted Mikilo on the shoulder and smiled with satisfaction. Mikilo was tense all over, especially when Jinri Yusai patted him on the shoulder. His whole body trembled a little. Speaking of Jose, I have to deal with him, so I'm leaving first. Next time, if you miss me, you can invite me to sit down at any time. You go slowly. Michelle showed a smile that was uglier than crying and said tremblingly, Let Jinri Yusai come. Even if he was killed, he wouldn't dare to have such an idea again. Michelle could see that the monster Jinri Yusai didn't take the Magic Council seriously at all. Jinri Yusai destroyed the headquarters of the Magic Council and killed so many people, including 3 high-ranking judges. But the entire Magic Council dared not even say a word. Michelle couldn't help but think that the Magic Council headquarters 3 years ago was probably the same scene. All he wants now is that you and Lizzie can leave as soon as possible. As for revenge or something, I dare not even think about it. Only after personally experiencing the golden sea of fire like a natural disaster, no one dared to have the idea of revenge. Jinri Yusai's figure disappeared, and everyone who went to the council breathed a sigh of relief. Jinri Yusai stood there as if a mountain was pressed down, making them dare not breathe. It's over, Michelle. I'm afraid we won't be able to secure our position this time. The old judge sat on the ground with his asterisk slumped, looking at the scorched earth with a miserable face. It's good to be alive. We should block the news as soon as possible, and we must not let the situation escalate. Otherwise, not only will our position be lost, but we may also be imprisoned in a magic prison. Michelle also sat on the ground limp all over and said with a pale face, This time, They really saw it. In this world, there really are monsters that they cannot provoke. Buzz. In the basement of the Fairy Tale Guild, a magic circle shone with light, and Jinryusai teleported back. Jinryusai is back. President, Jinryusai is back. Jinryusai, why did you come back so soon? That's right. Didn't you say you were taken away by the Magic Council? Natsu jumped in front of Jinryusai and shouted, Jinryusai, you be asterisk 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 D. Don't call me to smash the ghost's lair. Zero looking for flowers. Elfman leaned over and said, Brother-in-law, tell me what happened during the meeting? Yes. Jinryusai, tell us about it. Jinryusai waved his hand and said, It's a small matter, just killing some people and burning down their headquarters. It's a small matter. Lucy was taken aback and complained, You really just say earth-shattering things casually. Brother-in-law, are you okay? Lisana ran over, threw herself into Jinryusai's arms, and asked worriedly, It's okay, they are quite easy to talk to. Under my explanation, they admitted that this incident was a misunderstanding, and they also made spiritual compensation to me. Jinryusai touched Lisana's small head and said with a smile, Hey, Jinryusai's explanation must be very reasonable. By the way, how much was the compensation? Happy is not surprised at Jinryusai's masterpiece, but is more interested in the compensation. Not much, just 10 million J. What? Everyone in the guild soared, almost trampling the already damaged guild. 10 million people, how many fish can I buy here? Hey, Jinryusai, can I be your partner? You money lover's cat. Lucy complained and leaned over with bright eyes. Jinryusai, why don't we form a team? As she spoke, Lucy made a few seductive moves, showing off her graceful figure. 10 million, that's a lot of money. I'm on fire. What are you burning? The money has nothing to do with you. As expected of a brother-in-law, a man. Jinryusai, as long as you buy me a drink, I can be your girlfriend too. Kana put down the big wine barrel, wiped the wine from the corner of his mouth, and cast a wink. Urza looked at Kana with sharp eyes. Kana, repeat what you just said. That, I'm drunk, Hugong haha. Jinryusai did a great job. Let the Magic Council bow their heads and admit their mistakes again. Why do you say again? Hey, didn't I say that? 3 years ago, Jinryusai destroyed the Magic Council once, and after a friendly negotiation, Jinryusai was compensated 7 million yuan. Are you sure it's a friendly negotiation? Hey. Boo. Duh. Chapter 70. At this time, Mira Jane came over with an envelope and said, President, this is a letter sent by Jose, the president of Spectre, and it is said to be delivered to you. After hearing Mira Jane's words, the guild quickly fell silent. Makarov frowned. Jose, I want to see what that guy wants to do. The envelope was opened and fell on the ground, and then a projection appeared, which was Jose, the president of the Phantom Lord Guild. Makarov, are you worried that your guild's flame calamity Jinryusai has been arrested by the Magic Council? Huh? How about we sit down and have a good talk this time? I have specially prepared a dinner party. I hope you can come to attend. Well, in order to make you look good, I specially prepared a small greeting gift. As he spoke, Jose let out the scene behind him. Seeing this scene, everyone in the Fairy Tale Guild was furious. I saw 3 people whose hands and feet were tied and nailed to the wall. They were all wounded and passed out. Levy, Troy, Sarasuk, this damn be asterisk 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 D. How dare you do such an outrageous thing? Ma 20 Karloff yelled loudly. Jose, you be asterisk 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 D. Are you angry? Are you angry? Come here quickly, or the dinner dishes will be cold. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot to say, it's better for you to come alone. Otherwise, if I accidentally miss, I will end up with the lives of these 3 little guys, and it will be bad at that time, huh? The projection fades into Jose's maniacal laugh. President, let's go to war. Phantom Lord, we will not let them go. President, let's go to war. Let's go to war, President. At the moment, all Fairy Tale members are sprayed. Makarov clenched the wooden stick in his hand, his face extremely gloomy. If it's just smashing the guild, it's not a big deal. But no parent can see their child bleeding and not do anything. Boom. Makarov directly crushed the cane, and powerful magic waves erupted from his body. The war is on. Oh, oh, oh. Hearing this, all members of the fairy tale guild let out angry roars. Their anger has been completely ignited. Only blood can calm them down again. President, we will go with you. That's right. President, they must have no good intentions for letting you go alone. That's right. Jinryusai is here. Let's go straight there. Makarov waved his hand and said, No, to ensure the safety of Levy and the others, I will go this time by myself. Jinryusai, the guild will be handed over to you. Don't worry, old man. There was killing intent in Jinryusai's eyes. Jinryusai has no patience. For this kind of villain, the best way is to wipe him out of this world. For this kind of villain, Ryusai has a lot of experience in advance. I'll go back as soon as I go. Don't worry, I will definitely bring the children back safely. Jinryusai remembered something and said, By the way, old man, be careful. The other party has a guy who can empty the magic power. That guy's sneak attack is of no use to him. But if Makarov is sneak attacked, he will be in great danger. Yeah. Makarov nodded and turned to leave. Lee-Sana asked Jinryusai, Brother-in-law, don't you want to stop the president? Block. What? What if the other party besieges the president together? Jinryusai said calmly. Who do you think the old man is? The president of Fairy Tale, one of the great wizards of the Holy Ten. Although he is old, there is no need to worry. That despicable guy Jose doesn't have the courage to confront the president yet. Even though he is also one of the top 10 holy wizards, the gap between the top 10 holy wizards is actually quite large. The biggest possibility is to divert the tiger away from the mountain. This should be a series of plans by the other party. I should be the first one to plan. Let me be captured by the Magic Council, and then let the guild leader have to leave the guild. The next step should be to take advantage of this time to launch a general attack on Fairy Tale. I have to say that the other party's plan is very good. The only thing I didn't expect is that I have already returned. After all, it would take 10 meters to return from the Magic Council if I hurried normally. The only thing to worry about now is the safety of Levy and others. Natsu immediately yelled, Come on, just kill those bastards. Yes, who is afraid of whom? I have long wanted to kill these bastards of ghosts. It's despicable to lay hands on a girl as cute as Levy. The members of the guild were filled with righteous indignation, wishing that the ghost would come now, and they would just kill those bastards. At this moment, Ulu walked up to Jinryusai and said softly, Just in case, I will go quietly with the president and see if I can rescue him. Okay, as long as I save Levy and the others, I can rest assured that I can kill the ghosts. Jinryusai nodded in agreement. He was quite assured of Ulu's strength. A sonic boom sounded, and Wooloo disappeared in an instant with the sound spin. Half an hour later, buzz buzz, a dull sound sounded, and the earth began to shake slightly. What? What happened? Go out and have a look. My God, what's that? Everyone was stunned when they saw the scene in front of them. They saw a huge castle walking on the sea, walking towards this side step by step. That is, castle. The castle actually walks on the sea. Run, get out of the sea. The huge shadow of the castle and the vibration caused by walking have already been noticed by 490 residents in the town. All residents took refuge in the opposite direction from Magnolia. Is that the Phantom Lord's Guild? Sure enough, Jinryusai didn't expect that Makarov and Ulu left less than an hour before the Phantom surprise attack came. It even rushed over the sea. I never imagined it at all. The other side. Inside the huge castle, elite mages including the President Jose, the Four Elements, and the Iron Dragon are all here. This castle is the real headquarters of the Phantom Lord. Magic Cannon Jupiter is ready. Jupiter is charged, and the magic power conversion is complete. The magic particles are gathered. Preparation complete. Ready to launch. The huge castle suddenly started to move, and soon a huge gun barrel stretched out, aiming at the Fairy Tale Guild, and the cannons began to gather continuously. Seeing this, many people in Fairy Tale changed their faces drastically, and many people began to panic. Not good. It's the magic cluster cannon. The other party wants to destroy the Fairy Tale Guild together with us. Damn it. What should I do? I never thought that the other party would have such an attack method. A crazy smile appeared on Jose's face, and a voice sounded from above. Huh. Damn Fairy Tale. Get me out of this world. Emission. Chapter 71. Jupiter launches. A terrifying blue-black magical power was brewing and gathered at the front of the gun muzzle at a very high speed. In a short time, a gigantic and terrifying magic ball of light has already been formed. Everyone get down. Urza, who was standing at the front, reacted quickly and recovered from his daze in an instant. When he saw the soul-stirring and terrifying magic power condensed at the front end of the gun barrel, his complexion changed drastically and he roared, changing clothes. As soon as the words fell, a set of thick and shining armor appeared on Urza's body. It is the Vajra armor with the highest defense among all her armors. What does Urza want to do? Could it be that she plans to take this magic cannon? Seeing this, everyone in the guild was shocked. Immediately, someone shouted loudly, "Don't be impulsive, Urza. You will die. I won't let you destroy the guild." Never. Ignoring his partner's call, Urza poured all of his magic power into the armor with solemn eyes. Opened the maximum defense of the silver armor to the fullest. That's right, as everyone guessed. In order to protect the guild from being destroyed and to protect the safety of the guild members behind him, Urza is going to force this magic cannon at all costs. Boom! Finally, the bobber is launched. With a flash of extremely bright destructive light, a terrifying huge blue-black magic beam of light suddenly shot out violently from the barrel. It was like a huge meteor that could destroy the world, carrying a suffocating and terrible pressure towards the fairy tale guild in front, and exploded in a menacing manner. Hell ahead, there is only Urza standing there relentlessly. Nobody thought Urza could block this magic cannon unscathed. Even she herself never thought of it that way. With the determination to die, she came to fight for the next moment of life for everyone. Jupiter's light was getting closer and closer, just when that terrifying beam of magic power was about to hit the shield erected by Urza. Even when everyone in Fairy Tale was about to cover their eyes and refuse to look again, a black figure that seemed to flash across time and space suddenly rushed in front of the magic cluster cannon Jupiter and stopped in front of Urza. The proud son of heaven, the iron city wall, the dragon's walk, the lion's roar, the tiger's roar, and the wolf's run, cut off the world before it collapsed. 81 of binding Tao, breaking the void. Boom, boom, boom. Clatter. Boom, 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 boom. A deafening roar resounded between the sky and the earth, and the big river in front of the town was bombed with turbulent waves, exposing a large seabed. The shock waves continued to spread layer by layer, breaking and shattering like spider webs. But look around. It seems to be separated by a barrier. Only one side of the area was turbulent and roaring, and the flames were radiating. On the other side, there was no trace of destruction, and even the aftermath was isolated. However, there is also something that cannot be isolated. That is the dazzling light after the explosion, which made all Fairy Tale members couldn't help but close their eyes. However, there is only one person whose eyes never close, and that is Urza. Her eyes have never been closed from the very beginning, or she was going to close her eyes to take Jupiter by force. However, when she saw the proud black figure that suddenly appeared in front of her eyes and blocked between herself and Jupiter, her eyes could no longer be closed. When I am in danger, you are the only one who will stand in front of me the first time. The corners of her mouth curled up, and Urza smiled, so happy and relieved. Like a brilliantly blooming secluded flower, the beauty is dazzling. The beauty is moving, full of joy and emotion. Jinryusai, my man. At this moment, on Urza's face, the usual determination turned into gentleness, and the darkness deep in his heart was gradually dispelled and filled with a gleaming figure. Snapped. Just when Urza was in a daze, a brain crash hit her fair forehead. Urza immediately covered her little head and looked at Jinryusai, who appeared in front of her with some grievances. Next time you do something like this again, I'll take care of you. Jinryusai gave Urza a vicious look and said firmly, "As long as I'm here, no one can hurt you." Urza's pretty face was stained with a layer of blush, and she hummed like a kitten and stood obediently behind Jinryusai with her head down. Bang! He threw the wine glass in his hand to the ground violently and immediately splashed the liquid in the glass all over the floor. Looking at the picture displayed on the magic mirror, Jose said with a gloomy and cold voice, Jinryu sighed. It's this guy again. Damn, why did he appear here? Can't those wastes of the Magic Council last even a day? At the end, Jose almost roared. His whole face looked extremely hideous and distorted. A guy who likes to show off and show off with a little bit of strength, since you like to show off your strength so much. So today Jose having said that, Jose slowly stood up from his seat, staring fixedly at Jinryusai standing proudly in the air in the mirror image. Jose roared with a ferocious face. Let you have a good look at my pen's note. Dark Law, Magic Phantom Soldier. As soon as the words fell, a disgusting, ferocious magic power suddenly burst out from Jose's body. Immediately, countless ghost-like magic soldiers in black and purple robes split and floated out from Jose's magic power. Then, like a tidal wave, from the giant steel giants emerged in all directions. One after another roared and surrounded Miryusai, standing in the sky. The supersized Jupiter is ready to accumulate energy, Jose ordered, and immediately all the mages under him began to operate busily. Seeing this, the corners of Jose's mouth couldn't help pulling out a cruel and cold arc, and the crazy laughter immediately echoed dully in this vast world through the loudspeaker device installed on the steel giant, Zhao Wang's. 10 minutes. In just 10 minutes at most, this oversized Jupiter can gather the power needed for launch. At that time, I want to see how you deal with it. I want to see if you can easily block Jupiter like you did just now. Jinryu sighed. One of the worst things you ever did in your life is to make an enemy of me, Jose. Because anyone who dares to block the progress of my President Jose, I will ruthlessly and completely destroy it. Ha ha ha. The only two choices you have now are, or die under the siege of my magic ghost soldiers. With a disgusting smile on his face, Jose screamed like crazy, or be blasted into a pile of waste by this oversized Jupiter. There is no other choice. There is no other choice. Choose. Ahahaha. Duh. Chapter 72. Noisy. It's just a pile of broken copper and iron. Is this your trump card? Disappear. He spit out these words indifferently from his mouth, and the next moment, an extremely bright sword light suddenly slashed out. Silently, just for a moment. It completely turned the group of magical ghost soldiers flying towards this side into a piece of nothingness. Not only that, but even the huge steel giant with a height of more than 100 feet was cut by the sharp blade light, and a wide and neat gap with a diameter of more than 10 meters was cut out of it. Immediately, Urza was dumbfounded. Mira Jane is stupid. Lucy is stupid. All the members who saw this terrifying slash were dumbfounded. Even Jose in the giant steel giant is already stupid at the moment. But more, it is a monstrous anger. B******************************************** D. Jinryusai you be ********* D. I must kill you. I must kill you. Jose's eyes are starting to blacken. God knows how many ghost members died under this slash. 687 doesn't talk about the casualties. The damage from this slash alone has already made him go crazy. At least the steel giant's ability to move is completely gone. You must know this active headquarters guild, but he is the real trump card of the Phantom Lord. After suffering this penetrating slash, although it did not completely scrap it, how much money will it take to repair it in the future? Thinking of this, Jose felt a huge flame of anger burning in his heart. The huge anger that made him go crazy made the evil magic power rippling on his body suddenly become more violent and violent. That terrifying magical power that seems to be able to destroy the world made even the town tremble violently. Wave after wave of disgusting and terrifying magic power, like a rising tide, raged wildly in all directions. All the members who felt this magical power couldn't help but tremble all over their bodies at this moment. His eyes were filled with deep fear and horror. Kill me? Exactly. I want to kill you too, Jose. The corner of Jinryusai's mouth showed an exaggerated cruelty, and his eyes were full of murderous intent. Hoo-hoo. Jose took a few deep breaths, calmed down, and also showed an evil smile. Jinryusai, do you see who this person is? As soon as Jose finished speaking, a cross protruded from the steel giant's throat, and beside the cross were several wizards holding weapons. On the cross, a girl was tied up. Levi. It's too much. To do that to a girl. Damn it. Don't let Levy go. Lucy said, Is this man inhuman? Everyone in Fairy Tale cursed out of righteous indignation. I was originally the youngest in the guild. She has a cute and kind personality and can chat with anyone. Everyone in the guild treats Levy and Lysana as sisters. Now Levy is wounded and tied to a cross, causing everyone's rage. Of course, including meta-weapons. Boom! The terrifying spiritual pressure covered the steel giant, and the powerful oppression made many members of Spectre faint. The cross at the throat of the steel giant was retracted, and Bai's figure disappeared from everyone's sight. Jinryusai's usually lazy and gentle appearance disappeared, and the murderous intent in his eyes almost condensed into solid, cage quality. Jinryusai, I want you to watch Fairy Tale be destroyed. This is the price you pay for offending me. Jose's cruel and perverted voice came out. From now on, you are not allowed to make another move, or I will kill that girl. What? That's despicable. Is this also worthy of being called the Holy 10 Great Mage? Threatening with girls, mean and tasteless guy? Fairy Tale members cursed angrily. Where are Droy and Sarusu? Instead of losing his mind, Jinryusai questioned the other two captured guildmates. Don't worry, they are safe, and they should be found by Makarov soon. Jose smiled coldly. This was also part of his plan. Separate the hostages and use those two hostages to lure Makarov away. Jinryusai, leave it to us. Natsu said to Jinryusai. I'm going to rescue Levy. Happy. Hey. Happy immediately grabbed Natsu and flew towards the Iron Giant. Elfman said, Me too. Gray said calmly. Let's destroy the magic cluster cannon, otherwise it will always be a threat. This man of steel has not been completely scrapped. After speaking, the two rushed towards the Phantom Lord Guild headquarters together. Lysana said worriedly, But this number is still not enough. Ghosts have 4 elements and Iron Dragon Slayer Gajeel. The most important thing is that their president, Jose, one of the 10 great wizards, is also there. The president and you are not there, and when Jinryusai can't do it, no one can stop it. No. Urza and Mira Jane looked at each other and said confidently at the same time, Leave Jose to us. The two girls nodded to each other and rushed towards the steel giant at the same time. Macau shouted loudly, Attention! The enemy is coming. At this time, many ghost soldiers jumped down from the steel giant and rushed towards Fairy Tale. Free attack. Everyone in the guild began to use their own magic to freely attack these ghost soldiers. Jinryusai, you can't do it. I don't know what will happen if you do it. Just stand there and watch the members of your guild die one by one. Jinryusai's pupils were murderous, and he raised his head and said coldly, It's really infuriating, Jose. Jinryusai has never had such a strong murderous intent. Even the judge who sentenced him to death, or the so-called devil, never let Jinryusai have such a strong killing intent.
If you're enjoying the story so far and want to hear the next parts, don't forget to like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And if you'd like me to continue the series, drop a comment below letting me know. Your feedback and support keep these audiobooks going strong. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.